Now in our second decade of university sports coverage, TSN proudly presents CIAU basketball. The greatest players, center Murray Cunningham and all-Canadian guard Greg DeVries, both looking to end their Golden Bear careers with another golden moment.
It's been the goal that we set from day one this year, and we're still alive, and I think we still have a great shot at it, and it would just be a tremendous feeling to go out on top. There's only two other teams that have won more than back-to-back.
One of those teams is Jerry Hemming's Brandon Bobcats, national champs from 1987 to 89. This year's edition boasts a most determined leader and three-time All-Canadian Keith Vassell, who in his final game is looking to end a lifetime of frustration in Halifax. Vassell is a man on a mission.
Because it's me, I feel I deserve national championship. I've had good teams. I've played with good teams all 5 of my years. It's just we haven't won, and a lot of people feel that it's a choker or whatever, but I feel that we have to win.
So it's the Bobcats looking to stop Alberta's bid for a three-peat. Next. Second decade of university sports coverage, TSN proudly presents CIAU basketball. In Halifax, one band plays on, and so too the two basketball teams down to the final two here at the 1996 CIAU Men's Basketball Championship game. It's between the Alberta Golden Bears, the two-time defending champions, and the Brandon University Bobcats. An excellent matchup, great way to end an excellent CIAU men's basketball season right here on TSN. Hi, and welcome again to the Halifax Metro Center and another CIAU championship on TSN. I'm Rod Smith. Glad to have you along. Brandon Bobcats, a team trying to rekindle their glorious past. One of only two schools to win 3 straight national men's titles in basketball. The other team was, of course, the legendary Victoria Vikings, who won 7 in a row. Now, University of Alberta is a long way off from that one, but they can join Brandon in that exclusive company of winning 3 straight if they beat the Bobcats this afternoon. The Golden Bears, of course, their trip back, second straight as a wild card team, and this is a look at the route that they took in order to get to this championship game, defeating McMaster on Friday night in the quarterfinals by 29 points. And then they went on to face the UBC Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds had beaten them 5 times out of 6 during the season, including 2 straight in the Canada West Championship. But in the game that mattered most, Greg DeVries and the Golden Bears rose to the occasion and won it yesterday by 17. And you can see shooting from the field has been absolutely dynamite. They love playing here, an 8-game winning streak at the Metro Center. As for Jerry Hemming's Bobcats, once again, a team that is just laden with great individual talent and athleticism. This is an excellent club that won GPAC again. They have made 14 straight appearances here to the Final 8 tournament, and this is a look at how Brandon got here beginning on Friday night when they defeated the Acadia Axemen by 9 points. And then they took on the Varsity Blues of Toronto in the semifinal, took that one by 8. Their first appearance in the final since they won their 3rd straight in 1989. And the first of 2 teams, as I mentioned, to win, one of 2 teams straight national titles, Victoria being the other one. Well, once again, Brendan Connor, Brian Heaney are at courtside to call this game. Let's get their thoughts now, guys.
All right, thank you, Rod. And Brian, we are, as Rod mentioned, going to see that athletic skill and individual talent from the Brandon Bobcats. 5 starters come from Toronto. They had the playground game down pat against Alberta's systematic, smart, poised play. which team is going to win, which system is going to work out.
Well, you know, Brandon has some terrific athletes, and they electrified the crowd here at Metro Center in the semifinals. They'll come to play today, but as you said, Alberta's discipline system may frustrate them on defense. They have displayed their own offensive discipline in this tournament, and that's put them in the final. But can they remain patient on the defense? That's the big question in everybody's mind.
And among the key players, can they get another big game out of Greg DeVries, his final game as a university player? He stepped up yesterday against UBC with a fine shooting performance. They need him again today.
Well, Greg DeVries steps up to be counted on whenever he's needed. Murray Cunningham, their great forward, went out of the ball game last night, and everybody winced in the crowd. What did DeVries do? He came down and scored a three-point play. He can be relied upon to carry the Bears if he has to out of the backcourt. He's one of the greatest shooters in CIAU history.
Well, one of the guys that stepped up as well for Alberta yesterday and kind of surprised me and some others was Darren Semenuk, who's a first-year player in Don Horwit's program, came out of the junior college program, if you will, in Canada, community college, Grant McEwen Community College, and he had the ball an awful lot yesterday and scored some points and grabbed some rebounds.
Well, Darren Semenuk had the undaunting task of replacing the great Greg Badger, but last night, with his size at 6'2", he penetrated at will to the basket. He took the ball all the way to the goal and was very effective, but more importantly, he drew the defensive help and dished to his teammates for easy baskets.
And as we mentioned, Murray Cunningham, a key player in their game all year long, not a factor against UBC yesterday because of the foul trouble. He will be a factor today. He'll be banging bodies inside. Now, as we talk about Brandon, we've got to start, of course, with Keith Vassell, Mr. Everything for the Bobcats, all-Canadian. It's his final game, too, and they'll need a big game from him.
Keith Vassell is an internationally experienced player on the Canadian national team. He has all the skills. He has a pro body. He drains the three-point play, and he takes it with vicious intent to the basket. He can slam dunk over the top of any defense that comes his way.
Now, Ewan Roberts not a big factor in the first game Brandon played in the tournament, but he showed his skill yesterday. Another fifth-year player, and he will be banging bodies all day in there with Murray Cunningham.
Well, Ewan Roberts brought great maturity to the Brandon Bobcats last night, 17 points, 9 rebounds, but more importantly, he anchored the interior defense. When they penetrated the middle on Ewan Roberts, he was there to be called upon. He influenced a lot of shots, blocked some, but changed a lot of others. He'll be key today in the defense.
Another factor to watch for, of course, Brandon lost to Alberta back in November in the Golden Bear tournament in Edmonton. That was November, and nobody's on their game very much in November. But also, Demetrius Floyd was not a member of the Bobcats, then joined the team at Christmas, and he injects some real life and spark into that team.
Well, Demetrius Floyd's a great basketball player. He's so exciting. People from New York City would take a bus trip to New Jersey just to watch him play in a playground. Although he's from Kansas, he'll stand you on your feet in Halifax. He has such explosive talent.
And the mental game, something to think about quickly, too. Don Horwood will have to instill in his Alberta players the poise and, once again, play our system and don't be intimidated by the playground game at the other end.
Well, that's right. Mental discipline will be the key to the ball game. The question is, are you up to the task? Can you concentrate through the entire game?
Well, it is St. Patrick's Day, of course. A lot of people wearing green here in the Metro Center. There's big Celtic influence in Halifax. Don Horwood told me he's from Newfoundland. That's as close as he got to Ireland. But which team will be lucky? We will see as we take it back upstairs to Rod Smith.
Okay, thank you, Brendan. This is the 9th championship game played here at the Halifax Metro Center. The first 2 were won by the Brandon Bobcats. The most recent 2, of course, won by the Alberta Golden Bears. One of these 2 teams will win it again. We'll start to find out who will it be. The tip-off is coming up.
Let's meet the starting lineups for the CIAU Final 8 championship game. For Alberta, at guard, a 6'2" junior from Kelowna, British Columbia, number 32, Darren Semenuk. For Brandon, at guard, a 6'1" senior from Brandon, Manitoba, number 14, Jason Scott. For Alberta, at guard, a 6'2", fifth-year senior from Nelson, British Columbia, number 30, Greg DeVries. For Brandon, at guard, a 6'1" senior from Toronto, Ontario, number 20, Wayne Taylor. For Alberta, at forward, a 6'4", fifth-year senior from Prince George, British Columbia, number 42, Greg Sale. For Brandon, at forward, a 6'4", fifth-year senior from Scarborough, Ontario, number 4, Keith Vassal. For Alberta, at forward, a 6'6", fifth-year senior from Calgary, Alberta, number 25, Peter Knechtel. For Brandon, at forward, a 6'7" junior from Toronto, Ontario, number 54, Sean Gray. For Alberta, at center, a 6'5", fifth-year senior from Manville, Alberta, number 44, Murray Cunningham.
Come on, boys.
For Brandon, at center, a 6'7", fifth-year senior from Mississauga, Ontario, 00, Ewan Roberts. Now, introducing the head coaches. For the Golden Bears in his 13th year, Don Horwood. And for the Bobcats in his 19th year, Jerry Hemmings. The referees for this game are guys.
And we are courtside. Brendan Connor with Brian Haney. You have seen the starting lineups. You have met the veteran coaches. And take a look at the gentlemen who will be officiating today. Cipriani, Saunier, and Malion. No Western Canada referees in the draw here. And we are set to go. Another good crowd out at the Halifax Metro Center. Again, in spite of the fact that the two Maritime teams were eliminated on the first night, good basketball fans in Halifax that they are have come out. About 5,000, I think, taking a look around the place, Brian.
Well, they're rocking and rolling. They understand what good basketball is all about down here in Halifax with all the great programs they've been able to follow over the years. St. X, a former national champion. Acadia, a former national champion. St. Mary's Huskies. So they're here to see these great athletes perform today.
And we have enjoyed the hospitality here in Halifax. They do a great job of hosting this tournament every year. The town was jumping all weekend. Friendly Maritime hospitality. Start me up, and we are started up as Alberta controls the tap. Murray Cunningham loses it, though, and it scoops out of bounds. The Brandon Bobcats will take the first trip on offense. Again, Murray Cunningham not a factor yesterday. I talked to him before the game. He said, just couldn't get it going, couldn't get any rhythm. Got foul trouble, and then I got knocked around, and then there was some traveling calls. He plans to be a factor in this game.
Alberta setting up in man-to-man defense right at the outset of the ball game.
Inside, Sean Gray working his way toward the bucket. Will not fall for him, and Peter Knechtel clearing the boards. It's a great defensive rebounder, and the Bears on the run the other way. They get it to Murray Cunningham. Can't find a handle. And on the transition, Brandon has it, and Wayne Taylor will bring it up, slow it up, and set the Bobcats offense.
Many coaches here at the CIAU said they've seen Brandon play in the last semifinal game, the best game in Metro Center in 5 years for the Bobcats.
Wayne Taylor knocks down a three to start us off this afternoon. The veteran out of Toronto played some ball at Acadia in the late 80s. He's 26 years old. Took some time off, he told me, and came back to finish up his university career at Brandon with Jerry Hemmings. And he's got the Bobcats up to a 3-0 lead as Alberta throws it away at the other end, trying to work it inside to Murray Cunningham. And there you look at Ewan Roberts, one of the guys who's going to have to deal with Murray Cunningham all day.
Well, Ewan Roberts will be up to the task. They both go about the same poundage and about an inch apart. They'll battle the Warriors of the backboards all afternoon for the championship.
Brandon gets it to Ewan Roberts, pump fakes, gets Murray Cunningham up in the air, but then his ball doesn't even get a rim. And Sean Gray battling forward with Alberta. They tie it up, and the possession arrow favors the Golden Bears.
You know, Ewan Roberts played a great game offensively, 17 points last night. I think he took that one bounce and realized he wasn't even challenged on the shot and decided to soft touch it and, of course, drop the air ball.
Here's Darren Semenuk with the ball for Alberta. Boy, he impressed me yesterday, Brian. He had the ball all day and was key in getting the ball to Greg DeVries and will be key in trying to get the ball into Murray Cunningham. And again, I talked to Coach Horwood before the game, and he said, I said, boy, Semenuk stepped up and played a game for you yesterday. And he said, yeah, boy, I knew he could all along. Just had to give him the court time.
Well, Darren Semenuk tried to make this team 3 years ago, and he just didn't have the skill set at the time. He went to Grant McEwen Community College in Edmonton and worked 2 years till Greg Badger graduated and then stepped into that role.
Greg DeVries puts one off the glass and it doesn't go, and on the rebound, a foul is called. That'll be against Greg Sale. First foul of the game. Greg Sale, another product of the community college system. He went to Grand Prairie Community College and has stepped into Don Horwood's program and given him a nice job at swingman. Still 3-0. Brandon with the only bucket. Wayne Taylor 3. Bobcats work it around. Sean Gray near side. Ewan Roberts will try it again from the top of the key. That won't go. And the rebound battle for it. Keith Vassell had it for a moment. And another foul on Greg Sale.
Well, the flow of this game is all Brandon's right now. Interesting matchup is Keith Vassell at 6'4", 200 pounds against Darren Semenuk, the point guard for Alberta. If Vassell gets him inside, he'll dominate it.
They inbound it to Sean Gray. And he takes a couple of steps as he's bumped around a little bit. The referees see it as the travel. Sean Gray says, hey, you whacked me upside the head. That's why I traveled.
Balance so important. You got to get the wide base if you're going to make a move to the basket. Sean Gray at 6'7" got hit in the upper body. He had his feet together, lost his balance.
A lot of whistles early in this game as Keith Vassell takes a foul right there, trying to put some midcourt pressure on. Jerry Hemmings will be working the refs if this keeps up. Semenuk up into their offensive set. Out on the wing to Greg DeVries. Will he operate one-on-one or will he look for Cunningham? He will look for Cunningham. Tries to get it in. And the kick ball by Jason Scott on defense. As you get a close-up look at Wayne Taylor. And here's that play again.
Oh, look at the pass inside to Murray Cunningham. He couldn't put his hands on it and hold it. But one of the things that Greg DeVries does that's so smart is he wants to involve Cunningham early in the game on offense because his play was disrupted yesterday.
Great backdoor cut, and Keith Vassell lost his man on the switch, and Greg Sale able to tuck an easy one in. And the Golden Bears are on the board. Down 3-2. 3 minutes gone in this game. Ewan Roberts at the top. Wayne Taylor put up another 3. This one won't fall, and Nectel clears the rebound. Back come the Bears. DeVries, Sale, one fake, up in traffic, won't fall. Back comes Jason Scott with Brandon. Inside is Sean Gray. In traffic, off the window.
Boy, Sean Gray deflected that ball at one end of the court, and he ran full speed down the middle of the court and put out. That's why he was on the receiving end of that pass. He worked every inch of the floor to get that bucket inside.
You get our view of the game now from the courtside camera here on TSN. As Darren Semenuk drives to the bucket, bumps, and puts it up and gets it to fall. Again, he's going to play a key role. You got to watch DeVries, obviously, and you got to watch Murray Cunningham, but Semenuk had 20 points yesterday in the semifinal game. 5-4 for Brandon as Keith Vassell gets inside.
There's that isolation inside. Vassell's got Darren Semenuk. He gives up 2 inches in height and lots of poundage to him. If he tucks in on the low post and turns like that, he'll dominate all afternoon.
Obviously, the Bobcats have picked that up, and they look for Keith Vassell on that play, and will continue to. Peter Nectel, Alberta, has the ball at the top of the key. They look around inside. Semenuk has it again. Shot clock to 10. Greg Sale to the corner. Got it. That's a 2.
Keith Vassell has to respect the shot of Greg Sale. He's one of the finest outside shooters in the Canada West. He can drain it, shooting over 56% from the floor on the season.
Once again, he was giving me some grief this morning about commenting on his shot. You and I commented on his shot that was a bit unorthodox, and he said, here, come here, stand beside me, and I'll show you how I shoot it. He knocked in a three-pointer and convinced me. Sean Gray scoring at this end. Restoring Brandon's lead to 3. It is 9-6 for the Bobcats. Sean Gray having his way inside early, Brian.
Well, Sean Gray, a quick and explosive player. You can't give him access to the basket. He's a great finisher.
Alberta tries to go back door. It doesn't work. DeVries has it. Kicks it up in the corner. Semenuk with the save, and that is going to go out of bounds, and the Bobcats will have the ball. We are at 9-6 for the Brandon Bobcats. A timeout on the floor, and we'll be back to the Halifax Metro Center after this timeout.
Introducing the Top Flight Hot XL. From tee to green, the longest top flight ever.
And we are back on TSN's coverage of the national final, the CIAU championship, as you look at the Brandon Bobcats in their huddle. Let's take a look at Keith Vassell and how they're trying to work him inside, right?
Well, Keith Vassell down on the left side of your screen. You're going to see him step right in this area here. You'll see him step right up. He's going to post up on Darren Semenuk. The pass goes to the high post. They find Vassell on an isolation. Right there, he steps, turns, dunk. You just can't leave him alone without a body on him. He's one of the most explosive dunkers in the CIAU.
He's got his Bobcats ahead 9-6, and it looked like Semenuk's tried to front him a little bit, which is probably wise, but occasionally you're going to get beaten by the lob or a smart bounce pass. Keith Vassell, the All-Canadian, GPAC scoring leader. Doing well in this tournament, too, in terms of his scoring and rebounding, and he leads his team. They have a 3-point lead with just over 15 minutes to play first half. Vassell out top now. Wayne Taylor's a threat from there. Ewan Roberts has the ball now. Go inside to Sean Gray. Back out to Ewan Roberts. He glides through the lane and flips one in.
Nice touch by the big guy. Nice soft touch. It's tough going in there. You got all that momentum going from that 6'7" frame, 240 pounds. Velvet release.
Bears working the ball to DeVries. Double teamed as he gets out of the double team. Gets it over to Sale. Sale pops a three and nails it. And the Bobcats throw it away with some sloppy ball handling on the way up. It is 11-9 on the three-pointer from Sale. He closes his team to 2 points as Jerry Hemmings looks down his bench. Wonders if he should make a substitution, but decides against it. Alberta has the ball again inside to Sale this time. He's shown us the outside game, and now he will turn in traffic and be fouled by Sean Gray.
Sean Gray, an emotional player, but a valuable player, can't afford to get in foul trouble early. He was involved with Wayne Taylor on that previous turnover. Sometimes he comes back and tries to make up for a mistake. He wants to do the right thing, but he's got to remain composed.
Greg Sale with 7 points already for the Golden Bears. Prince George, BC. Yeah, played at Grand Prairie Community College. And then joined Don Horwood's program. Strokes 2 hard shots here. Sale up to 9 on the game, and it's a tie game now. 9 of his team's first 11. Not what you expected with a Greg DeVries on the floor.
One of the things Brandon hasn't done is they haven't put the ball in Keith Vassell's hands a great deal, particularly on the perimeter. He can hit the three-point shot and causes the defense some problems, but Darren Semenuk overplaying Vassell on the perimeter. Looks like the Golden Bears prepared to accept the isolation if Vassell takes Semenuk inside, but not give him the ball on the wing.
They look for Vassell on a backdoor cut there, and it was just batted away. Now the Bobcats swinging around. Wayne Taylor will take the jumper. Got it. This time it's a 2.
Wayne Taylor.
The veteran. Very confident with the ball in terms of ball handling under pressure, and a good shooter, too, as he's shown early in this game. Here's the backdoor cut. Greg DeVries will go to the bucket. Blocked by Sean Gray, and the Bobcats have the ball. And they're on the run. Jason Scott, though, holds it up. Gives it back to Wayne Taylor. Call an offensive set that they like. Sean Gray isolated out here with Peter Nechtel. He'll pass up the shot, give it to Ewan Roberts. And they're trying to get Vassell free as he's one-on-one with Semenuk. Vassell glides to the hoop with a very athletic move. Shooting over 2 guys. That was a beauty.
Boy, one of the things Keith Vassell does when he goes to the hoop is he gets down low. His body's at a 40-degree angle as he accelerates to the basket.
Inside it goes to Murray Cunningham. Here's the matchup we were looking at earlier. Cunningham and Ewan Roberts. And this time Cunningham uses the jump hook rather than banging bodies. But he gets it to fall, and it's 15-13. Bears down by 2. Sean Gray, foul line, looking for Vassell. Wayne Taylor will try a 3. Nails it. Wayne Taylor keeping the Bobcats ahead with good shooting. He's got a couple of 3s and a 2. Give him 8 on the game.
Got to be impressed with Brandon's discipline on offense. They've got good floor organization, and when you see Keith Vassell, first-team All-Canadian, give the basketball up so freely to a teammate, you know they're playing good team basketball at this stage of the year.
Golden Bears have Cunningham. Peter Nechtel will try a 3, not his game normally, and bounces off the rim, and the Bobcats are running away with it, but they do have the numbers as Jason Scott takes it to the rack. Won't go. Rebound Sean Gray back up and in.
There's Sean Gray hustling on the follow-up shot. Ewan Roberts taking a rest back, didn't follow up the shot, but Sean Gray says, I'll count every shot as a miss, and I'll load the offensive boards. He's a great offensive rebounder.
Another foul on Keith Vassell here away from the ball as the Bears are working on that backdoor cut. And in an effort to stay with Greg Sale, Keith Vassell draws another foul, his second. Jerry Hemmings might have to look at that, pardon me, his first. As you see some of the accolades Keith Vassell has earned over his CIAU career. Also played with our national student team in the World University Games in Japan last year.
Was the flag bearer in Japan, a real testimony to his character and leadership to be chosen to carry the Maple Leaf in the Parade of Champions.
Greg Sale operating inside, swatted by, was that Vassell?
Vassell
did get a hand on that ball.
Explosive. You got Sean Gray in there. Everyone knows he can block the shot. Keith Vassell, the all-around player, able to contribute to the shot blocking game as well.
7-point lead for the Bobcats, under 12 minutes to play. First half, Wayne Taylor's been deadly from outside. He thought about it. Swings it around to Ewan Roberts. And a big thud on that one as it goes off the glass. The Golden Bears bring it back down. Semenuk trying to operate. Intercepted. Ewan Roberts is away with it. Gives it to Vassell. Jason Scott misses. Vassell up with the rebound, and it's back up and in.
You know, I'm so impressed with Keith Vassell. He made the pass on that fast break, gave it up to the point guard. He could have took it to the basket himself with his athletic skill, gave it up to the right person, then loaded the offensive glass, got hit on the rebound. Strength.
Some of that athleticism we were talking about before the game as we have a foul on Jason Scott. And there is a timeout on the floor. 22-13 your score. Brandon leads. We'll be back to Halifax Metro Center after this.
Hey, pocket lovers! Introducing new McCain Deli Lovers Pizza Pockets to set you on your jet. Let's go, pocket lovers! McCain made them just for you. They made them with their best, so they taste a ton above the rest. Seasoned beef, salami, 2 pepperonis, Canadian bacon, and more in a crust that's baked, not fried, so there's no leaks, no mess. McCain Deli Lovers Pizza Pockets! The new taste to set you on your jets.
Welcome back to Halifax in the CIAU National Championship Final in men's basketball as Keith Vassell chatting it up on the Brandon bench. And
Ball
look
handling,
at that great play by
ball handling, judgment, teamwork. Great pass to Jason Scott. Now he loads the offensive boards, rebounding, and watch the strength when he goes back up. He gets hit, and he stays with the shot and makes the nice little bank shot. He knows the backboard is my friend.
Now, one man who might be interested in Keith Vassell for the national team is our new national team coach, permanent coach, and Rod Smith standing by with him.
Thank you, Brennan. Steve Konchalski, of course, won here in the national championship, the CIU, in 1993 with St. FX, but now with the national team. I want to ask you about that first. No trip to the Olympics in Atlanta, but how are things looking for the future?
Well, we're using this extra year we have to build a team for the 2000 Olympics as a developmental year. We're going to continue our series of open tryout camps across the country in 8 cities in the month of May, and put together a nucleus, identify the young players, and build a nucleus, build a foundation for the next 4 years.
How does Keith Vassell look? How does his future look for the national team?
It looks pretty good today. No question about that, Rod. He was with us last summer for 2 or 3 weeks, and then as an alternate for the senior team, went down and played for the student team, played very well and helped them win a bronze medal in Japan in the World University Games. I think he's got a bright future. He's a very good athlete. He's dedicated to the game, and he's a real team player.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Some of the fans enjoying the game here at the Halifax Metro Center, an old teammate of yours.
That's right, Steve Konchalski. We're very proud of him. He was an MVP in the national tournament back in 1965, averaged over 25 points a game, went to law school at Dalhousie, but we're pleased he chose coaching as his profession.
Coaching at St. FX, of course, and our national program. And as Rod mentioned, a winner here not too long ago in the national tournament. We're back into action here with the Bears working their offense. Shot clock down to 12. The Bears have Tally Swice in there now, number 11. He's come into the game to help out at the guard spot. Greg DeVries has it off his knee. That's the call anyway. He doesn't like it. Alberta with 5 turnovers to Brandon's 2, and Brandon right now on an 11-2 run. They bring it back up, and there's some token pressure here. That's why Tally Swice is in the game, to help out with the 3/4 court pressure, I guess.
And Swice is a hustling defensive player on the point. He not only pressures the basketball, but he'll get down low to dig out and help out on the double teams in the high and the low posts.
A couple of new Bobcats into the game, too. Demetrius Floyd wearing number 40. We talked about him before the game. American player with runs this originally, helps this Bobcats team as he pulls up and hits a 10-footer right away off the bench.
Boy, I'll tell you, he's got a nice stroke on the basketball. He went to the goal a lot last night with explosive moves, but if he can complement that game with the shooting game, it makes him doubly tough. Alberta changed the defense. They're in his own defense now. Brandon's going to have to prove themselves against the zone.
First shot of the day for Greg DeVries, and it's money in the bank from three-point land. And the 11-point lead is suddenly cut to 8, 24-16 for the Bobcats. They have a new man in the game as well. Roger Martin, second-year player, number 10. He's from Etobicoke, Thistletown High School.
You see the hustle of Tally Swice. He comes in off the bench. Great lateral defensive quickness. Got his hand on the basketball there. Caused a possession.
Roger Martin helping out Wayne Taylor in the backcourt. Wayne Taylor watched by the two men at the top of that Alberta zone. Ewan Roberts will take some steps. One too many, says the referee. Thought about shooting, thought about driving, changed his mind in mid-step. And another substitution into the game. This time it's number 22, Mark Semenuk, older brother of Darren Semenuk. Mark played a little bit at Simon Fraser and then joined Don Horwitz's program. Greg Sales sits down.
Watch it.
Greg DeVries looking inside once again. Ewan Roberts not happy with that call. Debating it vociferously.
See, right there now, there's tension and frustration starting to build. Ewan Roberts has a lot to concentrate on, but not discussing things with the referee. Here's Murray Cunningham. Wayne Hamilton slapped at the basketball, committing the foul. But what Cunningham doesn't get is the two-shot opportunity or the foul in the act of shooting. So he gives up of himself with the foul. Alberta gets the ball out of bounds rather than to be at the foul line.
Wayne Taylor drawing his second personal. Leaves the game with 8 points. So he's been an important player in the early going here for the Bobcats. As they inbound to Murray Cunningham, and the big guy is too big and too strong for Keith Vassell. Vassell sort of bounces off him and takes a mouthful of Murray Cunningham's elbow, I think, and draws a foul.
You got to watch Murray Cunningham. He sets a screen and steps back to the basketball. Always a good move. Set the screen, go back to the ball. He's wide open, and then he lays it up on the glass for the two. A lot of contact. Look at the fight going on here. Vassell reaching around, and it was that reach around, that clutch, that got the foul.
Inbounds it comes. DeVries will pop it from 3 again, this time off the front rim. Rebounded by Nechtel, keeping it alive. And while he was tapping it up and keeping it alive, a foul is called on Ewan Roberts. There's some good work on the offensive boards there by Peter Nechtel.
Okay, this is a key series, has been a key series for Alberta. A couple of fouls has put them in the one-on-one now. So Alberta starts to march to the line only halfway through the period. You always want to be in the bonus situation as an offensive team before your opponent. Every foul after that, every bit of contact gives you easy shots from the foul line.
24-16, and as Peter Nechtel will try to bite into this 8-point lead Brandon enjoys right now. Nechtel from Calgary, a great career at Mount Royal College. He's playing in his last game. I said, hey, your last game as a university player, Peter? He said, yep, 40 minutes of hell and then another championship, and I'll be quite happy to call it a career.
Well, he's been part of the previous 2 Golden Bear National Championships.
He hits both free throws, and the lead is down to 6. 24-18 now for Brandon.
And here's the extended half-court defense.
Twice with a steal on Roger Martin, and that results in a bucket for Greg DeVries. The pressure results in a turnover.
Tally Swice comes in the ball game and changes the complexion of the game, along with Don Horwitz's choice to extend the defense to half-court pressure and drop back to his zone.
Demetrius Floyd will slash to the hoop, try to dish it off to Sean Gray. It is knocked out of bounds, and it will go to the Alberta Golden Bears. Jerry Hemmings will get Wayne Taylor back into the ball game. Probably come in for Roger Martin. Roger Martin told me before the game he was a little nervous. National championship game, just second-year player. He showed some of that nervousness as he turned the ball over to Tally Swice, although it was a good defensive steal by Swice. Yep. And Keith Vassell will watch Wayne Taylor come in for Roger Martin.
Wayne Taylor really has emerged as a quarterback of this basketball team, and that's just what Jerry Hemmings needs right now is quarterback play because they're facing the extended pressure.
Come on.
Tally Swice with the ball, waiting for those backdoor cuts Alberta loves so much. This time they get Greg DeVries free on a screen. They'll put up a 3 and it will not go, but another offensive rebound for Peter Nechtel. And a fresh 30 for the Golden Bears.
See, when you shoot from the outside, oftentimes if you miss, the rebound Brandon getting crunched underneath the backboard, can't get to the long rebounds.
DeVries backdoor to Murray Cunningham. He'll go up in traffic, gets the bucket, and a foul. And a mix-up defensively back there. The Bobcats lost him on the backdoor screens.
Tremendous off-the-ball movement in the Alberta offense. Right here, DeVries, you think he's going to shoot. Murray Cunningham backs right away. They lose him, and he gets the pass, but the pass was rifle thrown. Greg DeVries right on the money.
Not only the benefit of the bucket and the trip to the foul line, but 3 fouls on Keith Vassell, and that is huge with 8.5 minutes still to play first half. Key player on the Brandon Bobcats in foul trouble, and Hemmings leaves him in there. Missed foul shot, another rebound for Knechtel. 3 offensive rebounds in about 3 minutes. And Tally Schweitz will put one up from the foul line and hit it.
Boy, Tally Schweitz, now he's brought the defense to 3-quarter court. The confidence coming into the Alberta game. They've closed the gap. It's a tie ball game. Now you see the defensive intensity really picking up on the perimeter.
Alberta on an 11-0 run. They have closed it to 24-24 as Ewan Roberts will jam inside for a jump hook, using that big body, restoring the lead to 26-24 for Brandon. Under 8 minutes to play.
That's the way to beat the zone, is to step inside the defender, inside the paint on the low post. Brandon's got to compose themselves and look for more of that.
This time, Ewan Roberts able to step in front of that entry pass. It was headed for Murray Cunningham, and the Bobcats have the ball on the turnover. Wayne Taylor gets it to Roberts. Vassell will try a 3 over on this side. Doesn't even get a rim. Brandon coming a little bit unraveled right now, although they do have the lead. There's a steal by Wayne Taylor on the entry pass from DeVries. And they'll get it over to Vassell. Look out. No! Doesn't have the elevation this time for the dunk. They don't even get a bucket out of it.
You know, I think Keith Vassell really got upset when he got poked in the mouth about 3 minutes ago. He got up, holding his mouth, he walked out of bounds. He was very, very concerned. I think he's been distracted mentally. He's got to get himself back in this ball game.
Cunningham had the ball, squirted out of his hands. He lost it. And then as the Bobcats tried for it, Cunningham draws a foul. Play getting a little scrambly here. I think Keith Vassell might benefit from a chance to sit down here. Oh, maybe he will now. A little timeout on the floor as Don Horwood brings his boys over. We'll be back at the Halifax Metro Center after this.
Natural ability can only take you so far. Equipment counts for a lot. I'm always checking out new ideas. You have to stay competitive. That's what I like about Pert Plus. Cleans and conditions in one step. No messing with 2 bottles. I get great results. No hassle, no fuss. Eventually, we all cross the finish. The winners just find a better way to get there.
Pert Plus, great hair, no fuss.
We're back courtside, Halifax Metro Center, the national final for CIAU men's basketball. Brendan Connor with Brian Heaney. Keith Vassell on the Brandon bench. 3 fouls, coach. What is he doing in the game still?
Well, he's a key player. He can't afford to get him a 4th. But look here, he breaks away. Nice pass. He's all alone, but mistimes it. Very unusual. He goes up and misses the dunk. You got to think what's on his mind. Now, as I said, he got popped in the mouth earlier. That really bothered him. He clutched his jaw, walking all the way over to the bench. He's upset.
Well, Keith Vassell also putting up an air ball from 3-point land, so I think I take your point. I think you're right about him being rattled by a smack in the mouth and some problems on the defensive side, but the backdoor cuts of the Alberta Golden Bears. And this time, as the timeout ends, Keith Vassell will stay on the bench. Jerry Hemmings wisely sitting him down, putting Jason Scott in at the guard position.
Alberta's still extending the defense now. Why go away from it when it's worked so well for you? They're giving a little soft show, soft pressure, 3-quarter court. They sink. They want to try to get the trap in around the mid-court area. What Brandon has to do is make sure they have somebody in the middle of this defense to receive the pass.
And they're swinging across court this time to Ewan Roberts. And then they go into the middle, as you say, Demetrius Floyd, top of the key, and he's looking for a route to the basket. It is locked off, and then his pass is knocked out of bounds. Brandon still controls. Jason Scott, as we mentioned, into the game for Keith Vassell. Jason's from Brandon, and a very useful player coming off the bench. Brandon still up by 2, 26-24. Under 7 minutes to play. Sean Gray looking for Demetrius Floyd inside, and he'll flip it up with the left hand.
Demetrius Floyd.
He got loose underneath.
He caught that basketball behind the backboard, just extended with a left-hand reach and tickled it in.
It's Brandon by 4. They run that backdoor play. Greg DeVries lays it off the glass. That is going to be goaltending on Sean Gray. Count the bucket.
He elevated, and he got up there quick. DeVries was wide open. He got the ball up on the glass. Gray comes out of nowhere from the high post. Look here, DeVries backdoor from the other side. There's Gray. He pins it, but once it hits the backboard, you cannot touch the basketball.
So give Alberta the bucket. 28-26, a 2-point lead now for the Bobcats. Again, the three-quarter court pressure. Tally Weiss working hard on Wayne Taylor. Makes him pick up the dribble, but he goes into Demetrius Floyd, who loves to go to the basket with it, and as he's dribbling through, he is fouled by Tally Weiss.
No, pretty interesting against this half-court pressure. The Bobcats are leaving Ewan Roberts, their biggest player, in the backcourt to look over the defense and make the pass. But Ewan throws a soft pass. He lobs the basketball. You can't do that. You got to throw a crisp pass against half-court pressure.
Wayne Taylor in the corner. He was hot early and puts up a three. Doesn't go. Rebound battled for by Ewan Roberts, and they call him for over the back. And he's not too happy about this. Once again, great athleticism, but can these guys stay poised in the face of some calls they don't like?
Well, you got to focus on the task at hand. Speaking to officials again is not something a player ought to be engaging in. Here, Ewan Roberts, not a fair foul in a sense that Greg DeVries at 6'2" against the big man at 6'7", and he gives up the foul coming over his back. Clearly, an over-the-back foul without question. Ewan Roberts has to get focused and concentrate. He's got a lot of work to do out there on both ends of the court.
There's a guy the Bobcats don't want at the foul line either, Greg DeVries. And the Bobcats objecting to the man at the foul line. They say that's not the guy who was involved in the foul. Jerry Hemmings is arguing, saying, but clearly on the replay, Ewan Roberts came over Greg DeVries' back, so Jerry's mistaken here. It is Greg DeVries who should be at the line, and he is at the line. He's made the first, and will try to tie this game, and he does. Greg DeVries up to 9 points on the game now, and it's tied. And once again, as you see, that definitely was Greg DeVries involved in that foul with Ewan Roberts, so DeVries was appropriately at the foul line as Jason Scott hits a three. Told you he's a useful player off the bench. I don't think they expect threes from him off the bench that much, but a nice one there. 31-28. Brandon Bobcats by 3. Under 6 minutes to play, first half. Bears working inside. Cunningham turns into double team. Blocked by Sean Gray, but Knechtel's got the offensive rebound again. Back up and in. What a player he is in terms of offensive rebounds.
Well, he's got a nice nose for the basketball, and he makes a point of working hard to move on the release of the ball so that he can track it to the backboard. He makes a big contribution.
The Dennis Rodman of the Alberta Golden Bears, could we venture to say? He's got better hair than Dennis Rodman. Bobcats swinging the ball around. Jason Scott. Shot clock down to 10. Wayne Taylor will take a couple of dribbles, get a little closer, put it up, and they bang at the boards. Brandon's got the rebound. And they draw a foul. Sean Gray hauled that rebound down, and Murray Cunningham fouled him on the way back up.
There's an explosive inside game right here. You got Ewan Roberts and Sean Gray. Roberts comes over the back. Would have been his third foul. Here's Sean Gray, who eventually gets the rebound. He continues, rises on 2 players, and draws the foul.
That one looked reasonably clean. I can see the objection from Don Horwood and company. Regardless, it is Sean Gray at the line for a couple of shots.
Sean Gray on the line.
You know, one of the interesting things about this Bobcat team, Jerry Hemmings said to me yesterday before the game, you know, we've seen nothing but zone in our conference. We know how to play against zones. It's the man-to-man offense that concerns me. But they started out this ball game so efficient man-to-man. They put Alberta in the zone, a defense that they're used to playing against, and they really haven't responded all that well to this point and a half.
DeVries looking to go one-on-one with Jason Scott. He draws extra defense and gets it over to Greg Sale, who hits a three. Greg DeVries, very smart play there, draws the D, finds the open man, and the Bears get a 3 out of it. Bobcats having a little trouble with the ball in their own backcourt. Tie game again, 33-all. Nice shooting by the Bears has brought them back. Wayne Taylor near side, looking over for Demetrius Floyd, operating inside. What elevation on that. Got a step around the man and went up and down with that ball. Wow.
What a move. I'll tell you, he went around the first guy and over the second guy. Terrific slam dunk.
35-33, 2-point lead on that impressive basket by Demetrius Floyd. DeVries penetrating now, smacked on the arm on the way by Demetrius Floyd.
See, late in the half, players working hard. Demetrius Floyd has to move in with his feet, not his hand. Look, all the players reach for the basketball with your hands. You got to move and react with your feet. Try to draw the charge. You're asking for trouble when you reach out and clutch.
Greg DeVries has certainly shown us a lot of poise, as we mentioned, finding the open man, hitting the outside jump shot, going to the hoop. Not intimidated at all by the big guys inside. He will happily go to the hoop and then step to the foul line and stroke them.
3 key statistics in any basketball game to watch to see how you're doing offensively and defensively are free throw attempts, offensive rebounds, and turnovers. Alberta leading in those categories to this point in the game, and not surprisingly on the scoreboard with a 1-point lead.
A rare miss from the free throw line from Greg DeVries leaves him with 10 points. It leaves Alberta trailing by 1, 35-34. Greg DeVries, of course, quiet early in this game. Greg Sale doing all the scoring in the early part. Now DeVries is up to 10 points. As the Bobcats bang the boards in there. Sean Gray puts it back up over his head. Ewan Roberts with the rebound and the putback.
What a great series. Sean Gray lost his balance, back to the basket, decided to put it back up on the glass, and who went and got it? His teammate, the second punch in the 1-2 duo, Ewan Roberts. Great effort by Gray and Roberts.
Brandon back up by 3. Greg DeVries looking for the shot on Jason Scott. Dribbles to the corner, into pressure, kicks it back out. Jeff Collier into the game now for Alberta. Comes in cold and tries a shot. Get the rebound up to Demetrius Floyd, and he will have a layup as he beats Tally Swice.
You know,
that was an interesting series because Collier, probably cold, takes the shot.
Yeah, you like to see that kind of move by Demetrius Floyd. He could have gone up and tried to make a spectacular dunk. He stuck with the fundamentals, a little off balance, laid it off the glass. The 2 points is what counts.
Double team over here on Greg Sale. Calls a timeout as he's in trouble and calls a quick 20-second timeout rather than turn the ball over. So we have a 20-second timeout, and we will take another break. Brendan Connor, Brian Heaney at the Metro Center. We'll be back. Welcome back to TSN's coverage of the CIAU Nationals as we're in the huddle with Don Horwood and the Alberta Golden Bears. They trail by 5 with under 3 minutes to go. They have an interesting tradition. I think it's a tradition. I think they do it by design. You may not recognize Greg DeVries, the great star of Alberta. Here he is now. Here he was last year when he was such a key to Alberta's win last year. He was the designated bald guy in '95, and I guess Peter Knechtel wears the clean-shaven pate. And this is what he looks like with hair. This is Peter Knechtel last year. Now he's the bald guy, the designated bald guy.
Well, you got to wonder what's behind that. Surely one of the things the Bears are hoping is that that noggin can cue up another championship.
Cue up, okay, I got it. Coach. Heaney Youngman here, the one-liners. 2:48 to play. We're back in action as Greg DeVries delivers to the top. Tally Swice will get it over to DeVries. Shot clock under 10. He will look for the shot. Sale pumps once, dribbles into the key. There is time. It's a shot. Gray with a huge block, and back come the Bobcats. Demetrius Floyd gets it to Jason Scott, and he decides to hold up, and they set the offense.
Nice move by Jason Scott. Didn't try to force the issue there. Almost got loose, but made a good decision to set it up and bring it out.
Scott dribbles into the key, puts it up and in, and he has contributed nicely off the bench as Brandon now goes up by 7.
Getting to the paint by dribble penetration or pass never hurts the offensive team when they're facing zone defense.
Bobcats on an 8-1 run now as Peter Knechtel will put up a 3, bounces off the front rim and a long rebound, and as Jason Scott is battling for it, there is a foul call on Greg Sale, and that is his 3rd. He will have to sit down.
But you see, only Alberta's 6th foul of the half with under 2 minutes left. And you see how important that is. On that foul, had they been in a bonus, Jason Scott marches to the free throw line to put points on the scoreboard. Instead, they have to take the ball out of bounds and face the defense. Getting in foul trouble, something any team needs to avoid.
We saw Mark Humphrey come into the game for Greg Sale. Darren Semenuk also back into the game. Bobcats swinging it around. Shot clock down to 10. Demetrius Floyd will go inside to Ewan Roberts. What a nice pass. And Roberts flips in the finger roll.
Very nice. Demetrius Floyd made a couple, not one, but a couple of great decisions in that offensive series, exhibiting patience and getting a better shot with crisp passing.
The Semenuk brothers in the backcourt now. Mark and Darren. This is Mark. Gives it off to Greg DeVries, who will try to operate one-on-one. Draws the double team. There's a foul and a shot, and the bucket will count. What a big shot. As Greg DeVries operates one-on-one, draws the double team, and hits the bucket, and he'll march to the foul line.
Well, I'll tell you, let's see when he got hit right here. Right there, the shot was not even. He wasn't even in motion to release the shot. He got a break having that basket count. Now he gets a chance for 3 instead of going to the foul line for 2.
Foul on Jason Scott. 43-36, 7-point lead for the Brandon Bobcats. Greg DeVries was great yesterday. The long-range bombing, dueling with Ken Morris from UBC. He makes it a 3-point play. He hits the free throw. 6-point lead for Brandon. Full court pressure. Ewan Roberts gets the pass away. Sean Gray comes back to help out. Now Brandon has the numbers as he plays give and go, and Sean Gray is fouled on the return pass.
Well, very nice series between Sean Gray and Ewan Roberts. You know, they live on the edge when your forwards are dribbling the ball. But here, the high post pass down low. Gray spins, and the foul is called, but he completes with the dunk shot. It doesn't count, but excellent athletic move.
Mark Humphrey draws the fouls. That is the 7th foul on the Golden Bears. So, even though he wasn't in the act of shooting, Sean Gray will go to the line for 1-1. Misses the front end. The Bears control the rebound there, and Semenuk to brother Mark Semenuk. Takes a look. Decides not. They'll swing it.
Easy now.
Semenuk slashing to the hoop, stops, kicks it out. Knechtel, pump fakes once. Soft shot, won't go, gets his own rebound, puts it up. They call him for traveling first. I thought he shuffled.
Well, he shuffled on that move, but he also got away with one up at the elbow on his first move that they didn't catch. He's moving his feet all around, a little indecisive in that whole series for Peter Knechtel. Right here, he gets the follow-up, comes down, getting ready, and slides back in, trying to get his body to make contact before he released it, but he dragged his feet while doing it.
Full court pressure, and the Brandon Bobcats forced into calling a timeout as the heat was good from the Alberta Golden Bears, and Jerry Hemming says make it a 20-second timeout.
Brandon takes a 20-second timeout.
Things have not gone Brandon's way, but what we talked about at the beginning of the show, Brandon is scoring based on athletic ability. As we take a look at the possession arrow, now favoring the Alberta Golden Bears. Vassell and Sale, a couple of key players, 3 fouls each in this first half. We haven't seen Vassell for 6 or 7 minutes. Both teams in the bonus. Both teams have plenty of timeouts left.
You know, got to give Brandon credit. They ran a little dry right in the middle of the half when the defenses began to change. But they worked hard. They regained composure after losing it, which is always a good sign. And they've dug themselves out of a bit of a trouble here, and they've opened up this lead again by halftime.
I'm kind of surprised at who they have handling the ball in this press break situation. Wayne Taylor fine, Jason Scott fine, but Ewan Roberts, the biggest guy on the court, is helping to bring it up.
Well, he is, but that also puts one of the guards in the middle of that defense. So if Ewan Roberts passes, he passes to a penetrating ball handler.
Yep, good point. Ewan Roberts out high. Back in the hands of the guards now, the veteran Wayne Taylor, 26 years old.
Alberta changed their defense again right now.
Back to a man in there. Demetrius Floyd can operate against that. Sean Gray on one side and Ewan Roberts on the other, as Wayne Taylor takes too many steps walking through the lane. Wanted to pass it, lane closed down, and he had to take an extra step. The refs caught it.
Now, what they want now is they want to make Alberta work hard for a shot with 8 seconds left. What they do not want to do is stop the clock with a foul.
8 seconds left in the half, as we mentioned. Alberta putting the ball into play. Greg DeVries will take it. They'll clear for him. They do make him work for it. They're going to pull up and shoot the three. Will not fall. And the rebound to the Brandon Bobcats as time runs out in the first half. 43-37 for the Brandon Bobcats. And again, Brian, I think they've been doing it on athletic ability rather than offensive sets and schemes. They just have the better athletes. By Don Horwood, his own admission.
Well, I'll tell you, they've done a good job, but without Keith Vassell in the ballgame, you don't know how good Brandon can be. They leave with the lead, but with not a great deal of production from their sensational All-Canadians. So the second half has to tend toward the Bobcats.
And in pursuit of that same point, the Brandon Bobcats have balanced scoring. Roberts, Taylor, Floyd, Gray, all with 8 points. DeVries with 13 for Alberta. Now let's go courtside with Rod Smith.
All right, thank you, Brendan. Jerry, 6-point lead to the half. Given the foul trouble, you must be happy with that.
Well, yeah, because we had to play the last 7-8 minutes without Keith Vassell, and Keith was playing fairly well at that time. So we got to be pleased. A little disappointed on the same time, too, because we were up 11. We made a couple mental mistakes, and our defense broke down a couple times. But overall, you know, we had a real strong half that from Sean Gray. Wayne Taylor picked us up out of the gate. And, you know, we just got to regroup and keep moving the basketball. I think when we keep moving the basketball, good things happen to us.
How will you handle Vassell if and when that fourth foul comes?
Well, we'll deal with that when he comes. He's a smart defensive player, and I personally think that he won't get that fourth.
Yeah, will he start the second half for you?
Most likely.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jerry. Jerry Hemmings, Brandon Bobcats leading the CIAU championship final 43-37 over the University of Alberta. More after this.
This is some portage, Bouillon. How far does the Great Prairie stretch?
Well, Jacques, all the way to the future site of the world's largest rodeo, Canada's Calgary Stampede, home of cowboys, bronco busting, yeah, and another perfect gathering place where Canadian beer drinkers can celebrate with that true Canadian lager.
And how far away is this stampede?
Oh, another 200 years.
Natural ability can only take you so far. Equipment counts for a lot. I'm always checking out new ideas. You have to stay competitive. That's what I like about Pert Plus. Cleans and conditions in one step. No messing with 2 bottles. I get great results. No hassle, no fuss. Eventually, we all cross the finish. The winners just find a better way to get there.
Pert Plus, great hair, no fuss. Dad, you worked late.
Oh, all night. You need any help?
No.
Good. I'm too tired. You could use some help.
Thanks.
It's halftime in Halifax in the Canadian University Men's Basketball Championship game. The Brandon Bobcats looking for their 4th title. They lead the Alberta Golden Bears. They're looking for their 3rd straight by 6. Well, Thursday here in Halifax, the CIAU named its All-Canadians in men's basketball and handed out the hardware as well. 4 major awards, including the TSN Ken Shields Award for the one who best combines athletics, academics, and community service.
Joining me to make the presentation is Ted McLean, who was honored a while back with the TSN Russ Jackson as the TSN Russ Jackson Award winner. And he's going to join me in welcoming to the podium the winner of the 1996 Ken Shields Award for men's basketball, Wilfrid Laurier's Tony Wise.
Most of all, this award, as with anything I may achieve, is a reflection of my mother, who's my best friend and is my continuing inspiration. Although it was almost 6 years ago, it still feels like yesterday that she died of cancer, and I'd like to dedicate this award to her. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 1996 Dr. Peter Mullins Rookie of the Year, Patrice Lemieux from the Bishop's University Gators.
I'm very honored to receive this award. I would like to thank my coaches, Eddie Pumagla and Jeff Harris, for allowing me to play in a system where I could show my abilities. I would also like to thank my teammates who share a great team chemistry on the court. And finally, I would like to thank Saxon, the sponsor of this award. I really appreciate this recognition, profile, as well as the scholarship. Thank you.
3 times he's won this trophy as Coach of the Year. We honor him for the 4th time. Please welcome my old buddy from the Winnipeg days, now the coach of the UBC Thunderbirds, the Coach of the Year, Bruce Enns.
We do not have a union of coaches in this country, and yet I believe that we should use a day like this to perhaps recommit ourselves to a sense of what we desperately need and what I think we have, and that is a true sense of brotherhood among coaches in this country.
The 1996 Mike Moser Award for Outstanding Player of the Year in CIAU from the University of Calgary Dinosaurs, Richard Bonney.
I feel it a real honor and privilege to be able to have my name put on a trophy that is dedicated and named after such a personality and player as Mike Moser, and to be associated with many of the past winners, some of them of whom I know, Keith Bassel, J.D. Jackson, Carl Tillman, a few others.
And they also named the All-Canadians, the first team. There you see Richard Bonney of Calgary, Keith Bassel, and Greg DeVries playing in this game. And Curtis Robertson, outstanding season he had at UPI. Dave Picton as well, the second team. The All-Canadian, Ken Morris, UBC Thunderbirds, top-ranked team heading into the tournament. Titus Channer, Maxime Bouchard of Concordia, Corey Bailey, and Brian Parker as well. Congratulations to one and all in this CIAU awards as well. And one of them joins me now, Tony Weiss, Wilfrid Laurier, and you won the TSN Ken Shields Award. Talked to a lot of people that win this award in other sports as well, combining academics and athletics and community service, and it seems to mean more to them than I think any other individual award you can get. What did it mean to you, stepping up, and very emotional speech on that Thursday night?
Yeah, well, it really meant the world to me. I said before, it's an honor that kind of transcends team sports, and sometimes it's difficult in a team sport such as basketball to take pride in an individual award when you know your teammates are so responsible. But this award, I think it just means so much because it goes beyond athletics, and that's what makes me so proud of it.
The thing that I'm most impressed with is the fact that people like yourself can find the time not only for the schoolwork, which is obviously so important, but to play the sport and also in the community as well. What kind of a juggling act is that?
It really isn't much of a juggling act if you enjoy what you're doing, and I do. In everything I do, I think, and that's the key to doing anything well, is enjoying what you do. And if you enjoy what you do, it makes hard work in any way not really hard work.
Well, congratulations. A lot of people proud of you, Tony.
Thanks very much. I appreciate it.
Tony Weiss, Wilfrid Laurier, here to watch, like a lot of us, the championship game between the Alberta Golden Bears and the Brandon Bobcats. It is Brandon leading after 20 minutes at the half, 43-37, and we'll be back.
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. In just a minute today, your thighs can look like
2 big mouth-watering patties in a rich
hypoallergenic base that makes your skin feel like
toupee in a can. Gets rid of bald spots. In fact, it looks just like
fabulous fake fur. Fantastic for my rump roast. Now easier to handle with a roast wrangler.
Life can be heavy. Keep it light. Clear your mind with a clearly great new taste. Check out new 7-Up Light.
Out on the ice, I don't score points for how my hair looks. But after the game,
front of the press, when the cameras are just inches away and millions of fans are watching, my hair has to look great, and great hair can't have flakes. No way. So I get rid of them with Head & Shoulders. It keeps my dandruff in check and my hair looking great. Hey, you can't hide under a helmet all the time.
Head & Shoulders, every day.
With great hair, can't have flakes.
You know, an apple sitting around too long, it goes bad. It's the same thing with a new battery. It loses power waiting to be bought. That's why at Interstate, we're constantly checking our batteries to make sure they're fresh, so that you don't end up with a bad apple.
Emotions are running high in Red Deer at the Karcher World Junior Curling Championships. Tonight, don't miss the Junior Men's Final, only on the home of rock and roll, TSN.
See the bear, taste the food. See the bear, taste the food. The Matzo Burger, a specially seasoned patty covered with real mozzarella and crisp, smoky bacon. See the bear.
The Alberta Golden Bears want their third straight men's basketball crown, but it's not going to be easy. Brandon has something to say, leading the Bears by 6 at the half. So far in March, TSN has seen the crowning of 4 champions in CIAU sport. This is number 5 and the final one. Here is a look back at what has been a very busy March of champions. Basketball, and we are halfway through it. The Alberta Golden Bears trying for the three-peat, but trailing Brandon by 6.
This sports break is brought to you by Canadian Tire. There's a lot more to Canadian Tire for a lot less.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our TSN newsroom. I'm Gino Retta. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. The inaugural
real 400 run in Brazil earlier today, and Canadian Greg Moore starting 4th on the grid of this race. As a matter of fact, with 20 laps to go, Moore was in the lead, but then he lost the back end of his car, caught the wall, and that was it. He was out of the race. A bad break for Moore. Good news for Andre Ribeiro. The Brazilian now, with Moore out of the race, suddenly found himself in first spot, and Andre Ribeiro does it. He wins the inaugural Brazilian Grand Prix, and obviously the hometown fans are thrilled with that result. In other news, the Sri Lanka, the champions of the World Cup, they defeated Australia in the final. Time for a quick break and more CIAU basketball on TSN.
You've been tried by the tide, you've been tested by rain. I'll take you at your word, 'cause you are what you claim. You've been out to the wall, down a road so rough, left out in the cold, but you're made of stronger stuff. There's a story to be told, and it's all there in your name. Tried, tested, and true. I know that you'll always come through. Tried, tested, and true. I can depend on you. Tried, tested, and true.
We're at halftime at the Halifax Metro Center. Brandon Bobcats leading the Alberta Golden Bears in the men's basketball final, 43-37. Let's take a look at the highlights now and go down to Brendan and Brian.
Well, thank you, Rod. As we take a look at the highlights from the first half, Brandon enjoying the 6-point lead, and some of it came without Keith Bassel, who got in some foul trouble, but he did contribute early in a couple of ways with some smarts and with some buckets.
Well, he's got to come back in the second half and bring some of these skills to the floor with 2 fouls left to give. But look at the judgment, the passing skills, an all-around player, right to Jason Scott, who misses the shot. Here comes Bassel demonstrating offensive rebounding skills. Then he goes up and demonstrates muscle. He takes the hit, but the fundamental shot, banking it off the glass.
Now, for the Golden Bears, their go-to guy, obviously, is Greg DeVries, and he was quiet first 10 minutes of the half. Didn't hear from him, but he started to heat it up a little bit later.
Well, Greg DeVries can erupt in spurts, and here he demonstrates his skill, his forte, the three-point bomb. Brandon's going to have to keep the ball out of his hands from the perimeter in the second half.
We mentioned Demetrius Floyd was not with the Bobcats when they lost at Alberta by 19 in November. This is one of the things they enjoy with him in the lineup.
I pass to him all the time, too. Look at this. He goes around the first guy, over the second guy, a two-hand slam dunk, and he makes it look easy. A sensational player.
As we take a look at some of the stats from the first half, there you see the field goal shooting, and the three-point shooting has been reasonably impressive. Free throws and rebounds, the two clubs. As we take a look at the halftime score once again, it's the Brandon Bobcats enjoying a 6-point lead. We'll be back to the Metro Center after this.
I'll have the chili.
Chili? You should know better.
And I'll have the fries.
Fries? You should know better.
And now I'll have Tums Ultra.
New Tums Ultra is our highest strength ever. It goes to work in seconds, neutralizing stomach acid to relieve heartburn and indigestion fast. And unlike many antacids, Tums Ultra has calcium.
Something your body uses anyway. You'll like that.
I'll have the chili. I know. I should know.
Natural ability can only take you so far. Equipment counts for a lot. I'm always checking out new ideas. You have to stay competitive. That's what I like about Pert Plus. Cleans and conditions in one step. No messing with 2 bottles. I get great results. No hassle, no fuss. Eventually, we all cross the finish. The winners just find a better way to get there.
Pert Plus, great hair, no fuss.
About to start the second half here at the Metro Center with Don Horwitz, Alberta Golden Bears, trailing the Brandon Bobcats in the championship game by 6 points. And the coach joins me now. He talked to them at the half. What has to change here?
Well, we got to get more intense defensively. I thought last night against UBC we played very well defensively. I don't think tonight we've worked hard enough in the first half. Brandon hit a lot of shots that normally they don't hit, and I think it's because we just didn't play tough enough defensively. We got to pick up our intensity, and we got to execute better on offense.
Keith Vassell in a bit of foul trouble and not playing as much. Are you thinking about that at all, and what impact that might have on this?
Well, obviously, if he's out of there, it helps us, but we're not going to attack him or anything right now. We're just going to try to play our game, and let's see what happens.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Rod.
Brendan?
Thank you, Rod. As you take a look at Murray Cunningham back into the game for the Alberta Golden Bears. He has been using that big body inside. At least it was in the early part of the first half. Only 4 points, though. Keith Vassell back in the game as well, starting second half. You heard Coach Hemming say to Rod Smith before the half, thinks he's a smart defensive player and can stay out of foul trouble in the early part of this second half. But one more foul for Vassell, and that will be trouble because he'll have to sit down for a while.
But what he's got to be careful of, he's such an explosive player offensively. He could pick that fourth one up on the offensive end rather than the defensive end.
They go right away. The Bears do to Murray Cunningham. He backs in on Ewan Roberts. Pump fakes once and is called for traveling, as a little bit intimidated by the, at least that trip anyway, by Ewan Roberts and Sean Gray being right up there with him.
Well, Murray Cunningham tried to make contact on that play. He backed in until his body made contact with the defensive player. Then he made the move, lost his balance.
Wayne Taylor working on Darren Simonak. Taylor goes to the corner, kicks it out to Sean Gray in the middle. And Sean Gray is called for an offensive foul as he tried to go across the key. So what you were talking about that Keith Vassell might have to worry about, but Sean Gray picks up foul number 2, not the way he wanted to.
You know, you can't always create something that's not there. Sean Gray going into a pack of green shirts here, you have to wonder what he was thinking. Maybe just to elevate over the top with the nice turnaround jump shot would have been in his best interest in that move.
Knechtel drawing the foul, doing a good job defensively on the boards and offensively as well, and contributing with taking the charge right there. And now Knechtel will take it to the hoop on Sean Gray, puts it up and in. Pretty athletic move from the fifth-year senior out of Calgary.
He's got nice range. He's a long, lanky basketball player. Really has the body type of a basketball player. Pretty quick, pretty fast.
That cuts the lead to 4 now. Brandon up by 4. Keith Vassell, top of the key. Taylor inside to Gray. Knocked away by Peter Knechtel. Doing the job on defense.
I think Sean Gray looking for a little help there from the official. He got double teamed very quickly. The reach around knocked the ball out of bounds, but didn't catch his forearm.
Brandon will put it in bounds to Vassell, top of the key. Looks for a pick and will pull up for a 3. Bonks off the rim. And in trying to hold Sean Gray off the rebounding situation, Peter Knechtel picks up a foul.
A little bit of that intensity that Don Horwood was trying to instill in the Golden Bears means they're going to knock some bodies around on the inside, start to create some contact, and see how they fare.
Vassell on the perimeter again. That long 3 he tried tells me he wants to try and get into the game offensively here early in the second half. Got to be patient, though. Bobcat swinging it around for Wayne Taylor, top of the key. One dribble, no shot available. Ewan Roberts will take it to the hoop and bank one in. The big guy.
Nice soft touch by Ewan Roberts. Made the big move when you lug that much weight to the basket, and then you come up with that soft, feathery release. You got to be impressed with his skill of shooting the ball.
The Bears swing it around to Darren Simonak, whose shot won't fall. Murray Cunningham with the rebound. One fake and then back up and in. Murray Cunningham. And that cuts the lead back to 4. Brandon by 4, 45-41. 2 minutes into the second half.
Alberta setting a man-to-man defense, straight matchup.
Get the ball to Sean Gray. 10 on the shot clock. Gray dribbles once. Out here on Vassell. Guarded by Greg Sale. Vassell takes it to the bucket. Dishes off to Ewan Roberts. Nice move by Vassell for the dish and the easy bucket for Roberts.
He has great vision on the way to the hoop. He's such a threat on the way to the hoop. The defense has to come to him. Keith Vassell delivers the play.
Greg Sale answers at the other end. Keeps that lead at 3, 47-44. Sale's got a tough job trying to guard Keith Vassell.
Well, interesting, a change in matchup. Simonak had Vassell in the first half. Greg Sale now given his assignment in the second half.
Sale with a little more weight than Simonak. Wayne Taylor of the Bobcats will try a 3. Won't go. Big rebound by Ewan Roberts. And he decides not to try and put it back up. He tries to pass it out, but it's knocked out of bounds by the breeze. And the Bobcats have the ball under the Alberta basket. 3-point lead. Sean Gray backing Knechtel in, draws the double team, tries to get it to Roberts, tipped away, and Wayne Taylor has it, top of the key.
Sean Gray having a tough time finding the open man when he is double teamed. One of the keys is when you're a post player, you have to be willing to accept that double team, but then you got to find the offensive man who's open. Sean Gray having a lot of difficulty doing that.
Wayne Taylor tried to find the offensive man there and threw it out of bounds. Trying to find the open man on the double team. The Bears have it on the turnover. Semenuk looking for something inside with Murray Cunningham. He's got the ball, draws a double team, and Semenuk will try the three as Cunningham kicks it out to him. It's no good. Rebound to Sean Gray as he clears the boards for the Bobcats.
Sean Gray doing a good job on the backboards. He's always around the missed shot.
Sean Gray looking to get it to Ewan Roberts inside. Nothing there. Now he gives it off to Jason Scott. Shot clock down under 10. Keith Bassel has it. Takes a look at the shot clock. He'll operate one-on-one here on Greg Sale. Spins and fires. There's a big bucket. A playground bucket if I ever saw one. That's the one-on-one stuff I was talking about.
Keith Bassel, you got to be impressed. He spun, dribbled. He wanted the open lane, couldn't find it, so had to immediately change his decision and elevate over the top of the defender rather than going by him.
The lead is back to 5 now for the Bobcats. Peter Nechtel, foul line. Looks inside. Greg Sale, open, backdoor cut. Keith Bassel lost him. Was a little tentative, perhaps, about chasing him because he's got 3 fouls already.
Well, you know, Murray Cunningham, sometimes the unsung hero, but he sprung the offensive player loose by setting a great screen on the weak side that freed up Greg Sale.
They do that a lot, don't they? Sale and Nechtel running those backdoor screens. Been very successful for Alberta. They're down 3, though. Shot clock under 10 again as Wayne Taylor trying to operate one-on-one. Good defense by Greg DeVries.
You know, Brandon really played well against man-to-man early in the game. They ran a high post offense. They're a little bit confused here.
As you see Wayne Taylor dribble it off his foot, it'll be Alberta ball when we come back. The CIAU Nationals in Halifax.
Natural ability can only take you so far. Equipment counts for a lot. I'm always checking out new ideas. You have to stay competitive. That's what I like about Pert Plus. Cleans and conditions in one step. No messing with 2 bottles. I get great results. No hassle, no fuss. Eventually, we all cross the finish. The winners just find a better way to get there.
Pert Plus, great hair, no fuss.
Round of applause. Welcome back to the Halifax Metro Center, which has been the home of the national championship lately, and 5,146 good basketball fans out to see this national final, even though there's no maritime school. Testimony to just what a good committee has put this on. And let's go to Rod Smith now with the chairman.
Okay, Brendan, and Halifax has been host of the tournament for 13 years. Bill Robinson, the chairman for all those 13 years. It's a hot issue now. I know a lot of fans passionate. There's talk about it moving to Hamilton and Copps Coliseum. Can you address that for us?
Well, I know the people are very compassionate about their basketball down here, and after 13 years, they really enjoy watching great basketball like we're seeing today. And if it's getting passionate now, I can imagine what it's going to be like in a couple years, because we still have 2 years left on the tournament, and the community sport continues to support it. We've drawn 25,000 people or more over the last 4 or 5 years, and again, you know, just great attendance when we have 2 Western teams. It's great basketball, and they like their basketball here.
And there really is an enthusiasm about this game you find down here. They call it the Canada's basketball capital that you don't necessarily find anywhere else.
Well, geography allows us to draw 4 provinces very close together. The people like their basketball. We don't have as much professional sports as they have in some other areas of the country, so they really take a great pride in this national event.
A well-run tournament again. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you very much.
And Bill Robinson and his people can boast that they have drawn 25,000 plus here over the course of the tournament. And again, 5,000 plus for the national final between Alberta and Brandon, as Peter Nechtel will put up a 2 and knock it down. And the Alberta Golden Bears are within 1.
Alberta's just too good of shooters when they get to that elbow right at the foul line area. Brandon's got to come out with a hand up. Nechtel could bury that shot.
The other end, Brandon operating, looking for Keith Bassel inside. He's got it. Turns around, the block from behind. The big play by Murray Cunningham. Meanwhile, in the scramble for the loose ball, there's going to be a foul called on Darren Semenuk.
Now look at Keith Bassel. If he'd have gone to his left, he would have been wide open. Instead, he goes back into traffic, and he gives Cunningham a chance to come down from the high post. But when he first caught the basketball, he could have drop stepped to the left and been wide open. That's what that play is designed to do. Keith Bassel moving in the wrong direction, caused himself some problems.
Brandon moving the ball around well. Jerry Hemmings told us at halftime, got to keep up the ball movement.
They've made the change in the timeout. They're back to the set.
Jason Scott with a big three.
The high post offense that was so effective for him in the first half.
Second three of the game for Jason Scott, who plays off the bench and has helped out in this national final for Jerry Hemmings. And speaking of threes, Greg DeVries puts one up, doesn't fall, but the rebound battled for, and Brandon will have it as Murray Cunningham couldn't get his hands on it. 52-48, 4-point lead for Keith Vassell and the Bobcats. We talk about the athleticism of Brandon a lot, but Jerry Hemmings, no slouch of a coach, and has put together some good offensive sets here, and Jason Scott contributing, and a rebound jam by Sean Gray. Whoa! I'll tell you, Scott's layup didn't go, but Sean Gray made sure it went.
He goes to the defensive boards, he goes to the offensive boards. It's a lot more fun on the offensive boards when you can leap and jam like Sean Gray.
Huge bucket for Brandon. They are up 6 now. As Alberta goes inside to Murray Cunningham, gets the bucket and draws a foul as well. So how's that for an answer to the Alberta Golden Bears? A jam at one end by Gray, and then they go inside and pound at him with Murray Cunningham.
You got to front the cutter inside. You can't let Murray Cunningham, with his strength, go and get the basketball.
Murray Cunningham has one shot.
There's Murray Cunningham's basket. He'll be at the foul line, and at the other end, here's the jam by Sean Gray on the follow.
Look at the follow here on the glass. Here comes Gray. He grabs it in 2 hands. It's home.
But it's only a 4-point lead for the Brandon Bobcats after the bucket by Cunningham. And he will try to cut that lead to 3. He does. It's a 3-point game. The Brandon Bobcats. Murray Cunningham's up to 9 on the day. A key 3-point play there. Demetrius Floyd into the game now for Brandon. He gets it to Ewan Roberts, but stolen by Darren Semenuk, and they come away. Peter Neckel, a trailer on that play. Mishandles the ball, but still flips it up and in.
I'll tell you, he was like a juggler right out of a circus. He couldn't get his hands on that basketball, but he stuck with it till the end. Got it up on the glass. It still took 2 bounces before it dropped. What an acrobatic shot.
You saw him smiling on the way back. He knows he was lucky to get that one. And Alberta's within 1 with that basket by Peter Neckel. 54-53. 13 minutes to play in the national final. The Bears trying to 3-peat. Brandon trying to get that title back as Wayne Taylor. Taylor will hit from the corner. Was that a 3 or not? No, it wasn't.
Oh, but he's really made some important shots throughout this tournament. They really needed a basket on that possession. Wayne Taylor again steps up. He's the man that you can count on.
And a turnover at the other end as Greg Sale has the ball stripped away by Demetrius Floyd. So Taylor did step on the line there, making it a 2. It's 56-53. Bobcats bring it back after the turnover. Demetrius Floyd operating far side, puts up a 2. Great one-on-one play right there. Cleared himself for the shot and let it go.
I'll tell you, he was fading out of bounds from the dead corner. He's got a beautiful stroke on the basketball.
5-point lead for the Bobcats. Greg DeVries has not been heard from. 7.5 minutes into the half. 13 points in the first half, nothing so far in the second. Murray Cunningham has the ball high. Bears looking for those backdoor cuts again. Shot clock under 10. Now DeVries is open. He'll step into the lane though and put up an off-balance shot. Good defense by Brandon. They control the rebound too.
You know, Brandon played that man-to-man defense right into the bottom 8 seconds of that shot clock. Defensive patience is one of the keys for the game for them. They're stepping up and counting it.
Jason Scott controls for Brandon, top of the key, guarded by DeVries. Swings it out on the wing now. Sean Gray. Ewan Roberts. Scott looking for the pick from Roberts. Gets it, but stripped away by Darren Semenuk. And away goes Greg DeVries, and he's blocked at the other end by Sean Gray. DeVries lays it up on the glass, and Gray pinned it.
And he's hurt. He's hurt. Sean Gray is hurt. What a spectacular block.
And this place is jumping now. Don Horwood is after the officials. At the other end, Sean Gray may be a little bit injured. He sits down, maybe just a little bit winded. Here's the play again.
Well, watch here now. The key is, did he trap it on the glass? There goes the shot. He got it early and knocked it back on the glass. The first impression is he may have pinned it on the glass, but he didn't. He got it clean and he got it early and excited Demetrius Floyd. Look at it again. Here he comes. DeVries going to go to lay it on the glass, but Gray comes from nowhere and he gets there quick. What a fabulous shot.
And then Sean Gray fell into the basket support and was a little bit slow getting up. Wandered over to the bench and sat down. He looks okay, though. 10 points today. Took a couple of charges. Doing a good job on the offensive boards. And as you see, intimidating defensively. Sean Gray talking to the staff there. And as we look into the Don Horwood huddle, we'll remind you to stay tuned following this afternoon's game for the TSN Turning Point, brought to you by Interstate Batteries. We check them before you buy them for fresh power guarantee.
Oh, please, just help me this once.
Next time, get a dependable Interstate battery. We check them before you buy them for fresh power guarantee.
We have 11 minutes to play as Greg DeVries brings the Alberta Golden Bears back out on the floor. They're not happy with the turn of events. During that last series, DeVries was pinned. He thought he was fouled. It's 58-53, a 5-point lead for the Bobcats. He might have been a little lackadaisical taking it in there, slowed down a little as he started to put the layup up.
Well, that's right, but you don't expect a player to have the kind of skill that Sean Gray has in terms of both speed and leaping ability. He came out of nowhere. He closed the distance so quickly he caught DeVries by surprise.
Bears put it back into play and bring it up. Tally Swice into the game now, as is Mark Semina. DeVries has the ball. As they look for Murray Cunningham inside. He's got it. Draws the double team. Mark Semina will take it. And they kick it into Peter Nechtel, who turns and travels. Yes, he does. Had to shuffle step. Boy, that was some good help defense by Brandon, wasn't it?
Yeah, and Sean Gray and Ewan Roberts did a good job down there. What they did well was they held defensive position. They didn't reach in. Nechtel had nowhere to go, and that's what caused the foul.
There you see the travel right there, the walk. Keith Bassel took a little blow. He is back out on the floor now. Jason Scott sits down after contributing well. Full court heat now by Alberta. Keith Bassel brings it up. Swinging around to Ewan Roberts. Wayne Taylor at the top. Demetrius Floyd likes to slash to the bucket. This time they swing it, though, and inside it goes to Sean Gray, and DeVries intercepts the pass, and Sean Gray called for the foul.
Alberta really came out and extended the intensity of that defense in that whole series. They were ready to play. Look inside. Here comes DeVries from the weak side. Gets in front, deflects the ball, and Gray tries to hook him. He's wide open, but here's DeVries hustling from the weak side, reading and anticipating where the pass may go.
Not a smart foul for Sean Gray. He has 4 now. So far, he is staying on the court. Still a 5-point lead for the Bobcats. Mark Seminick with the ball. To Greg DeVries. Pumps once. And we'll take a shot that's off the front rim. DeVries not shooting terribly well here. But Peter Nechtel grabs the rebound. Although the possession arrow favors the Brandon Bobcats. So Peter Nechtel doing a great job at both ends on the boards, as we have said today. Jason Scott comes back into the game.
Great teams play at different levels of intensity. Alberta has several levels of intensity. They're at a point in the ballgame where they got to take it to the next level, defensively and hustling. They're showing they have more left.
Jason Scott coming in to replace Sean Gray. He does sit down with the 4 fouls. Makes Brandon a little smaller, but Keith Bassel can handle the ball as well. Has play inside. Brandon swinging, shot clock under 10. They'll have to look for a shot here. Bassel, pass intercepted by Seminick. But Bobcats get it back, and the shot clock winds out anyway. Although I don't think the shot clock should have wound out on Brandon there, because there was a steal.
You're right, Brendan. There was a change in possession there. Now, if the referee judges that they didn't have control of that basketball, there was no change of possession. But Alberta looked as though they gained control. The judgment must be otherwise. Right here, let's take a look at it there. Alberta's in control of the ball. Probably the judgment was it was last slapped by Keith Bassel, and they never regained control.
Okay, so it's Alberta ball. Still a 5-point lead, 58-53, as Mark Seminick operating, goes down low. Can't get it to go. And a scramble for the ball. Look at the Bobcats on the floor after it, and it is out of bounds, and Alberta will have control of the ball.
This is a different ball team that's come out of those huddles. Alberta picking it up, that level of intensity, everybody contributing. Murray Cunningham went in the middle. He really stabbed at that basketball and caused that turnover.
And they have turned over the ball 8 times now, the Bobcats have, in the second half. So that defensive intensity you talk about is producing results for the Alberta Golden Bears.
Special situations so important. Alberta can get a basket right here off an inbounds play.
Sally Swice has the ball. They'll start their backdoor screens and look for Greg Sale. Nothing there. They're swinging around, and Mark Semenek will take the three. No good. And the rebound to Wayne Taylor, and it finds Jason Scott out in front of the rest. He lays it up, and it's no good. Cunningham with the rebound, and back come the Bears. Cunningham left alone at the foul line. He'll take the step and go to the hoop. Gets the layup. Count the bucket. And Murray Cunningham will go to the line. A defensive breakdown there, and he saw that opened up like the Red Sea, Brian.
Well, somebody made a miscue here because Murray Cunningham all alone. He can't even believe it. He says, whoa, look at this. I'm going all the way. Somebody missed their assignment.
Team foul number 4.
Murray Cunningham will go to the line as well. It's 58-55, a 3-point lead for Brandon. Cunningham could cut it to 2.
One, guys, one shot.
Demetrius Floyd of the Bobcats having a little trouble with the intense defense and the hustle of the Alberta Golden Bears. The foul shot will not fall. A rebound controlled by Brandon. Still a 3-point lead for the Bobcats. The veteran Wayne Taylor brings it up under pressure. Here comes the double team. Dribbles out of it, though. Vassell slashing to the hoop. Beautiful move. There's some of that athleticism we talked about as he makes 2 dribbles and takes it to the bucket.
He shake, baked, and rolled on that one. Changed direction twice. A beautiful release.
It's a big-time move as Alberta, careless with the ball, is batted away. But they will keep the ball as it was last touched by a Brandon Hand. And wait a minute, the referee's going to talk about this one. And they changed the call. Kerry Hemming should be a bit more pleased than he appears to be. As we take a look at it.
Right here, off Nechtel's hands, right out of bounds. And you know, I'm not so sure they changed the call. I think the signal they gave was in the wrong direction. He realized it was off green, but he signaled in the wrong direction.
Wayne Taylor having a little trouble with the ball, and the full court heat by Sally Swice, and a 10-second violation. They don't get it over half within the 10 seconds allowed. The ball goes over to the Alberta Golden Bears. Some good defensive hustle as Sally Swice will sit down again. Turn Semenek into the game. Swice forcing the turnover. Now the Bears have the ball. They trail by 5. 8.5 left to play. Inside they go to Cunningham. Draws the double team. Semenek thinks about a 3. Demetrius Floyd with a great defensive play there to steal the ball. And I think a foul called here on Peter Knechtel.
Alberta foul Peter Knechtel, his second, team foul number 3.
Look here, on the pass, inside, Cunningham steps up to the high post from the low post. They try to pass the ball to Knechtel coming along the baseline.
60-55. Brandon Bobcats lead, they have the ball. Demetrius Floyd out on the wing. Knechtel on him. Floyd trying to operate one-on-one, and a blocking foul called on Peter Knechtel. So 2 quick fouls on Knechtel. He's got 3 in the game.
Alberta in much better shape from the foul line. Not a lot of fouls committed in this half by either team. 4 team fouls with only 8 minutes left to go in the game. It's been a relatively clean game from the foul point of view and from the turnover point of view. Both teams very deliberate.
Inbounds to Keith Vassell. Hands it off to Wayne Taylor. Bobcats a little sloppy with it there, but Taylor's got it back.
Brandon spending a lot of time deep in the backcourt before they actually get their entry pass. It's eating valuable time off the 30-second clock.
Demetrius Floyd's got the position inside. Turnaround jump shot on Knechtel. Nice bucket.
He's a fine basketball player. That's his 6th straight bucket. He is 6 for 6 from the floor in this ball game.
7-point lead for Brandon as a result of Floyd's bucket. As the Bears go back inside, Cunningham will pound it up. And a foul on Keith Vassell.
Oh!
And that will be 4 on him.
That's a big one. It matches the number on his jersey.
Jerry Hemmings thinking about taking a timeout.
Look
He's
here,
got a TV timeout
the
coming
lob
up.
pass to Murray Cunningham. Here comes Vassell over. He turns the shoulder in. Demetrius Floyd comes up and makes the block, but the whistle was blown before Floyd got in the picture. The foul on Vassell.
That's 4 on Vassell as Murray Cunningham hits the first. Got the lead back to 6.
That's a big foul. The Brandon Bobcats can't afford to go down the stretch, I don't think, without their all-Canadian leader, Keith Vassell.
It's a 5-point lead as Cunningham hits them both. And there's a timeout on the floor. 7.5 left to go. And we'll be back to the Halifax Metro Center for the CIAU championship game after this.
Out on the ice, I don't score points for how my hair looks. But after the game, in front of the press, and the cameras are just inches away, and millions of fans are watching, my hair has to look great, and great hair can't have flakes. No way. So I get rid of them with Head & Shoulders. It keeps my dandruff in check, and my hair looking great. Hey, you can't hide under a helmet all the time.
Head & Shoulders, every day.
With great hair, can't have flakes.
And we welcome you back to the noisy Halifax Metro Center. We're talking basketball, but later tonight on TSN, the men's final for the World Junior Curling Championship from Red Deer, Alberta, Scotland and Switzerland in the final. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, right here on TSN. Keep it here has been a big chant this weekend, a big slogan, Brian, as the contract to host the Nationals, the CIAU Final 8, will run out in a couple of years, and a couple of other cities lobbying to have it moved.
Well, there's been a lot of positive controversy around the potential of it.
Let's listen into the Brandon huddle as Jerry Hemmings talks to his troops.
We get the win. Take it to Demetrius' side. D, play on this side coming down. Let's run through, Wayne. J, you spot. George at the screen. We'll run a little big screen for you. Are almost $700 richer. Come on. I think it'll work. But now on, though, on that high post, see, they're running up here and picking you up, and then they're running. You can help break down, but coming high, we can hit you, okay? But it's got to be a good set.
Go. Stay on the board. Well, that old North Carolina drawl that we've been hearing for 19 years with Jerry Hemmings. And he decides to leave Keith Vassell in the game with 4 fouls. I guess, again, relying on the fact that he's a senior and he knows how to play.
Well, you know, it's a legendary coach, Al McGuire, who led Marquette to the NCAA championship in '77, always believed when a player gets his 4th foul, you go with him down the stretch because he holds back if you take him out and then he comes back in to try to protect himself. Maybe Jerry Hemmings following Al McGuire's philosophy.
Full court pressure by the Golden Bears, and Wayne Taylor gets it to Vassell, and now they get the numbers 3-on-2 as they come back. Vassell will dribble into traffic, put it up, and Murray Cunningham from behind with the block. They call it a jump ball, and the possession arrow favors the Golden Bears. So good work by Cunningham on the block, and they get the ball.
Keith Vassell, he had his eyes wide open. Look here, he goes in, he takes on all the Bears, he goes up. No foul called in that situation.
Still a 5-point lead for the Brandon Bobcats as Aaron Semenuk handling the ball well, working on Wayne Taylor. Murray Cunningham fighting for position. And there's a foul away from the ball. Bodies flying between Cunningham and Ewan Roberts, but that wasn't where the foul was called. It was called on Greg DeVries out at the top of the key, away from the ball.
Alberta very physical off the ball. That foul called on the screen. DeVries goes up right here. Boom. He frees Murray Cunningham, but he takes Brandon player right out of the picture.
He was involved in that play, and then he just sort of scooted away from the play, as if to say, who, me? But they did catch him. Midcourt trap now. Bobcats do get out of it, though, and almost throw the ball away. Out of bounds to Brandon. 5-point lead with 7 minutes to play. Peter Bechtel getting a hand on that pass. Don Horwood looking on, trying for a 3rd national title. Demetrius Floyd thinking about it as they swing the ball over to the other side. Now he'll operate, penetrate. Ewan Roberts. Pump fakes once, drives to the bucket, and a big basket by the big guy.
Boy, he lugs his frame down on the baseline, and again, that nice soft release. Ewan Roberts with a good move.
Jerry Hemmings said Ewan Roberts goes 270. But he's pretty quick. He's got the soft hands, as you say. 7-point lead for Brandon. 6.5 to go. Greg DeVries working at the top. Throws it away on the pick and roll. And back comes Keith Vassell of the Bobcats. And he'll lay it up and in. And a foul on Greg DeVries. Huge bucket by Keith Vassell of the Bobcats.
I got to tell you, he made a great finish, but it was his explosive speed in the open court that gained the turf he needed to make that shot.
Greg DeVries trying for the pick and roll situation, tossed the ball away, and it turns into a Brandon basket.
Look here, Keith Vassell makes the steal. No, he turns it on. He accelerates. He goes right by the back defender right here and is able to lay it up. Nice move on the finish, but super speed in the open court.
That gives Brandon a 9-point lead with Vassell going to the foul line, and that's why the timeout by Don Horwood and the Alberta Golden Bears.
Look here, Greg DeVries really tries to strip Vassell. He knows he can't go up and block the shot. Too much of a size and jumping ability difference, but Keith Vassell makes a key play at a crucial time.
Vassell told me he'd like to go overseas and try his hand at some pro basketball now that his university career is coming to a close. Of course, we heard Steve Kachowski say that he has plans for Keith Vassell with the national team program, but he can be in and out of that and still be making some money over in Europe. You must know a lot of guys who tried that European route.
Well, that's right, and Keith Vassell is certainly a player without question that can play pro basketball at some level, certainly over in Europe at some level, but he'd be a valued addition to any franchise team. But his future will be with the national team. That's where he'll gain maximum visibility, and from that performance, he'll be able to get a contract that will support him in the game.
He and the Bobcats are going to take that national championship away from the Alberta Golden Bears and bring it back to Brandon. It's a great program, such a small school.
We know what we're doing, guys. Come on.
The Canadian heartland. Vassell and Ewan Roberts have put in 5 years in that program. It'd be fitting to see them go out for the national title.
Well, they're certainly hoping that. You know, when you make a commitment to stay together as a team, you have a chance to win it all. That's what's on their mind for the next 6 minutes.
Misses the free throw. They followed the basket, so it is still 9-point lead. And here's another steal by Vassell. And he gets it up to Wayne Taylor, who will lay in 2 more for the Bobcats. So Keith Vassell coming to the fore now in the late stages of this game.
What makes an individual an all-Canadian is you have many dimensions to your game. Here, Keith Vassell, 2 key steals.
12 points on the game for Vassell, but contributing in a lot of other ways, as Coach Haney has mentioned. Greg DeVries hasn't had the outside touch going today. 13 points in the first half, not as effective in the second half, as he misses that one, and the Bobcats have the rebound. And out of bounds to the Bobcats.
Look at Greg DeVries here. Let's watch the right arm. Boom, out it goes. He pushes off. Could have got the foul right there. He has a tendency to do that when he accelerates to the basket.
He usually hits that shot, but not this afternoon. Brandon's up by 11. 5.5 to go. Swing it around. Back over to Vassell, and he's called for an offensive foul. I think a little bit of Academy Award performance there by Greg DeVries, and that'll be 5 fouls on Keith Vassell. The Bobcats will have to win the national title without him.
Right there, that's a huge play. Keith Vassell, the Bobcats are going to have to come down the stretch. Now they have a 9-point lead to protect, but they're going to be without Mr. All-Everything, the first-team All-Canadian, Keith Vassell. He's stunned by that. Hard defensive pressure, Keith Vassell called, pushing off.
He goes out with 12 points and 4 rebounds and a lot of inspirational play. Here's the play that got him his 5th foul.
Right here. Greg DeVries got in tight, dug it out, tried to get good foot position.
Maybe there was some more contact than I thought there, but from our initial position, it looked like Greg took a dive, but whatever. He got the call he wanted. And Keith Vassell, the key player for the Brandon Bobcats, is out of the game. Jerry Hemmings will have to deal with that.
We got 4 out of 20. Yeah, they're going to pull it out, though. Don't worry. Don't worry.
11-point lead for the Bobcats as Vassell sits down on that Brandon bench and hopes that his mates can hold the lead. Howie Twice brings the Bears back up. Look for Greg DeVries to look for the shot now. With a couple of threes. This time they go into Murray Cunningham, though. He will back in, turn, and go up in traffic. Blocked there. Inside by either Sean Gray or Ewan Roberts. And now the rebound controlled by the Bobcats again. Gray's been up on that rim.
Now what the Bobcats have to do now is they've got to find somebody on the court to step up and replace Vassell. Maybe Demetrius Floyd. The other thing they've got to do is not start to protect the lead. They have to continue to play so they don't lose momentum.
Well, in the late stages against UBC, in the late stages against Toronto yesterday. Wayne Taylor really did a good job controlling the ball, as there was a call in favor of the Alberta Golden Bears here. Not sure who that foul was on, but...
Well, Ewan Roberts, but look here. He gets bumped right there. He goes high on the glass. He comes over the back to get his rebound, climbs the back of Peter Nectel. It was the referee on the weak side that saw the second bit of contact against Ewan Roberts.
No call on the way up, but a call on the over the back, and they're in the bonus situation now, so Peter Nectel will be at the line. There's a timeout on the floor. I was mentioning Wayne Taylor. Jerry Hemmings told me that he was really pleased with the way Wayne Taylor, the veteran guard, took care of the ball in the late stages yesterday against Toronto. And obviously he will have to do that again here today to protect this lead. It's an 11-point lead with 4.5 to play. Jerry Hemmings figures out how to hold on to the lead and win a national title. As we mentioned, 19 years with Jerry Hemmings at the helm of the Brandon program. Does a lot of his recruiting in the Toronto area. As we look into his huddle, take a look at the situation in the game right now. Each team with 3 timeouts left. Possession arrow favors Brandon. 1 foul to give for Alberta. Brandon already in the bonus situation, so the Bears will be at the line on every foul now. Vassell out of the game. Sean Gray with 1 more foul, and he'll be out. Alberta in reasonably good shape. What do you think he's saying in there, Coach Heaney?
Well, I think he's telling them to keep their poise, make sure that they execute what it is they want to get out of their offense, particularly on the first attempt.
The Acadia Spirit Band has stayed here from Wolfville after their team was eliminated on the first night. They have been the band of record for the Halifax Metro Center, and with master cheerleaders also involved. All contributing to a great party and a great weekend, and it's winding up. We got 4.5 minutes left in the championship game as Peter Nectel of the Bears goes to the line and to chip away at this 11-point deficit. Nectel hits the front end of the one-on-one. He's got 11 points on the game. A lot of rebounds and some good defensive play inside. His last game as a university player. Gets the kind roll on that one. That's the lead to 9. Alex White's working on Wayne Taylor. Double team trap. Taylor's got the ball back.
Alberta doing a good job deep in the backcourt on defense.
Some good aggressive defense by Greg DeVries there. Grabbed the ball away from Jason Scott, but is called for a foul. And that will put the Bobcats at the line in a one-on-one situation. DeVries with his 3rd foul of the game.
Alberta over the limit, bonus in back.
Jason Scott has hit a couple of 3-point shots today, but none more important than these free throw attempts.
Fourth-year player, comes from right in Brandon. 10 points a game this year. Comes off Jerry Hemmings' bench. Does a good job defensively and in terms of ball handling, and as you mentioned, can hit the odd 3. It's 1 of 2 from the free throw line. The lead is 10. Greg Sale will pull one up for 3, and he's got it.
Boy, he shoots it confidently, springs himself wide open in transition. He never thought about a pass or a look inside. He had the feel.
10 of 11 on the 3-point shooting. In the course of the tournament, Greg Sale has 20 points for the day. Ball goes out of bounds right in front of us here. The Bears think they had it. But it stays with Brandon.
Callie Swice might have had an argument on that call. He was smiling as he walked away. He worked hard to dig it out, and he may have gotten it.
Brandon operating with Demetrius Floyd, elevating inside, gets his own rebound. It's stolen away by Greg DeVries, and he's in the open court with help from Murray Cunningham. Will go to the bucket and get fouled.
There goes Gray. Sean Gray.
The foul's on. It might be on Demetrius Floyd. He's saying, call it on me. No, they call it on 54, so that's it for Sean Gray.
Here's the hoop right here. Murray Cunningham goes hard. Here comes Sean Gray. He was first in on the action. He turned right away and pointed. He wanted to call on his teammate, Demetrius Floyd. He realized he had 4 fouls, but his instinct, his basketball instinct, took him up to block the shot. He's gone. Vassell and Gray, the 1-2 punch on the pile.
Sean Gray leaves the game with 10 points and 8 rebounds and a whole bunch of blocks and intimidation inside. Very key to the Bobcats game. And with Sean Gray and Keith Vassell on the bench now, just under 4 minutes to play, 7-point lead for the Bobcats. Can they protect it?
You know, right here, Jerry Hemmings has to get his team looking forward. Jack Kemp, the former quarterback of the Buffalo Bills, was asked the question if he regretted a decision he made in politics. He says, I only look forward. I'm a quarterback. Right now, somebody's got to take the reins here and quarterback this team down the last 340. Vassell and Gray, history. The players on the floor have to get the job done.
And one of those is Roger Martin, the young second-year man. Out of the Etobicoke comes in. Murray Cunningham goes to the line. 7-point lead for the Bobcats. Cunningham hits that one. Make it 6.
Murray Cunningham's been such a great player in his career with the Golden Bears. Of course, was the most valuable player in this tournament in their national championship win, but an anchor inside.
2 clutch foul shots by Murray Cunningham. Makes it a 5-point game. The Bobcats, can they protect the lead? We'll find out when we come back in Halifax.
Out on the ice, I don't score points for how my hair looks. But after the game, in front of the press, when the cameras are just inches away and millions of fans are watching, my hair has to look great. And great hair can't have flakes. No way. So I get rid of them with Head & Shoulders. It keeps my dandruff in check and my hair looking great. Go. Hey, you can't hide under a helmet all the time.
Head & Shoulders, every day.
With great hair, can't have flakes.
We're back on TSN's coverage of the CIAU Men's Championship game at the Metro Center in Halifax. Brendan Connor with Brian Heaney and Jerry Hemmings, the veteran coach of the Brandon Bobcats, instructing his young players on how to try to protect a 5-point lead with 3:48 to go and 2 key starters having fouled out, Keith Vassell and Sean Gray.
You know, protect the lead is different than extend the lead. When you get into this situation, you've got 2 new players in the game off the bench. You've got to build the confidence in them that through their defense, perhaps, through their rebounding and their aggression, they can in fact take this lead and extend it. If a team starts to back up and wait for the clock to run out and protect the lead, they lose all rhythm, and usually bad things result.
You look at Sean Gray having fouled out. He'll be back for another year at Brandon. More eligibility left. Keith Vassell, though, will wind up his university career on the bench and cheering for his mates. As he also has 5 fouls. Bobcats put it in play.
Alberta extending the defense, so they're going to get a different look in the backcourt now.
Wayne Taylor, Roger Martin, and Jason Scott will do much of the ball handling. Ewan Roberts trapped in the corner, kicks it back out. Over it goes to Jason Scott, who'll put one up, and he hits it. What a big shot. It's a 2-pointer, but a clutch one.
And that's what you need. Somebody out of the shadows has to step up in this situation. Jason Scott relaxed and says, I am up to the task.
7-point now lead. And the Golden Bears dribble it out of bounds. And it is going to go over to Brandon. Oh, no, they called a timeout. The Golden Bears were falling out of bounds, and I think Sale had the presence of mind to call timeout. And we'll take another break here on TSN. Back to Halifax in just a moment.
Natural ability can only take you so far. Equipment counts for a lot. I'm always checking out new ideas. You have to stay competitive. That's what I like about Pert Plus. Cleans and conditions in one step. No messing with 2 bottles. I get great results. No hassle, no fuss. Eventually, we all cross the finish. The winners just find a better way to get there.
Pert Plus, great hair, no fuss.
Welcome back, and we are back live at the Halifax Metro Center as Greg Sale of the Golden Bears did call timeout just in time here as he was diving out of bounds after that fall.
Brendan, look at this heady play right here. It goes timeout. I mean, he had hardly any bang. The referee has to administer it. If you're in the air on the way out of bounds and you signal for the timeout, the official will grant it. A super play by Greg Sale for the Golden Bears.
Play. They're down 7. They need the ball, and they need to score at this end. Murray Cunningham has it. Tally Schweitz. Shot clock down to 10. Greg Sale's got 20 already. Goes into the lane and gets called for a foul.
No basket.
Number 20, Wayne Taylor. Will be called for the foul. The Bobcats will send Alberta to the line once again. They lead by 7. Brandon does. They huddle up to talk about defense. Gary Hemmings checks that clock. Sees 3 minutes and 4 seconds. That's an eternity.
Well, it is in a game situation like this, especially with both teams now in the one-on-one. Any foul is going to put you on the foul line both ways to score baskets.
Good shooter like Sale. Up to 21 on the game. Doesn't get the second one. Demetrius Floyd will control the rebound. Bobcats up by 6. We're now under 3 minutes. And a turnover at the other end. The hostile defense of the Bears results in a turnover, and Peter Knechtel picks it off and gives it back to Tally Swice, and here comes Alberta. They go to Cunningham. Turns around, sees an opening, has trouble dribbling it, and the Bears will see it bounce out of bounds, and it'll be Brandon Ball. Greg DeVries has not scored in the second half. Wow, 13 points first half, 30 last night. Has not scored in the second half, and that is one of the reasons Alberta trails by 6. 2.5 to play.
One of the things Brandon's doing is they're playing on the perimeter offensively. The ball has not gone. There it is into the high post. That's where it's got to go.
Wayne Taylor will put it up. 3, and doesn't get the roll. Rebound goes to the Bears.
And now you notice Gray and Vassell on the bench. They block Ewan Roberts out. Nobody to crash the boards for the second shot.
Greg DeVries operating, gets it into Murray Cunningham. He will turn, and they're giving him the 15-footer, but he passes it up. Peter Knechtel also passes up the shot. They're trying to clear Greg DeVries. He will not pass it up, but puts up a big one and hits a big 3. Greg DeVries cuts that lead to 71-68. It's 3 points, and the full court heat is on, of course. The Bobcats bringing it over. Double team, but Wayne Taylor and Jason Scott do get out of it. 71-68, a minute 45 to go, as Wayne Taylor will dribble in and out of trouble as he gets it up top. Roger Martin picks up his dribble.
10 seconds on the clock.
Under 10 now. Demetrius Floyd will have to look for a shot here. No, gets it over Wayne Taylor. A couple of dribbles, clears himself with a shot. Rebound to Demetrius Floyd. What a rebound jam! This place is on its feet.
Holy cow, Brandon is going nuts on the bench. That was an unbelievable jump on the follow-up by Demetrius Floyd.
It's an NBA rebound jam, and that puts the Bobcats back up by 5. And a timeout called by the Alberta Golden Bears. We got to take another look at that one, Coach Haney.
Great timeout by Don Horwood. That kind of emotion, he'll take it out of the crowd now. He wanted to stop, gather his troops. Watch this incredible move right here. Taylor shoots. Floyd comes out of nowhere like he's on a trampoline. I mean, he was up, elbows at the rim.
That was a serious, serious jam. Got this crowd on its feet and certainly pumped up the Brandon bench. Wow, he was flying.
Unbelievable. I don't know if anybody there got as high as Floyd, but they were giving it all they had. Did he ever lift the Brandon Bobcats with that play?
Boy, just when the momentum seemed to have swung to the Alberta Golden Bears, you know, Greg DeVries hits a big 3, and they cut the lead to 3, and then at the other end, the clock winding down. Taylor bounces it off the front rim, and Demetrius Floyd flushes it with a rebound jam. He joined the team at Christmas. Was not part of their team when they went to Alberta and lost by 19. And he slashes to the hoop all game long. But boy, does he rise on this one. Look where he is.
Right deep in the backcourt, 30 feet from the hoop, and he comes in and makes it 3 inches right over the top of the rim. I mean, he moved, he anticipated, he saw the alley, his instinct took him right to the basket. You know, he's played a tremendous team game. He has the athletic skill to perhaps take 15, 20 shots a ball game, but he's come into this program, distributed the basketball, added poise and leadership, and strikes at the appropriate moment. That was a phenomenal play.
A minute 7 to go. Alberta has the ball. Down by 5. They need a bucket quickly. Possibly a 3 if they can get the breeze free. This will be a 2. Nails it.
He has the heart of a champion, Greg DeVries.
The lead is 3, 73-70. Full court pressure. Ewan Roberts and Wayne Taylor will try to get out of trouble. Taylor dribbling well. Gets it over to Jason Scott, and a foul on Greg Sale as he was lunging after that cross-court pass. 46 seconds to play. 3-point Brandon lead, and they will go to the line.
I'll tell you, those passes are risky. They stay in the air a long time. Greg Sale lost his balance, wound up fouling Jason Scott. These would be the biggest 2 shots this kid has made or taken all season long.
Well, this is the kid, of course, that jacked an important 3 from the corner with about 3 minutes to play in the game when Vassell had fouled out. Brandon just 6 trips to the foul line today, 3 for 6, so the team shooting 50%. Jason Scott, the hometown boy from Brandon, on the line for some important shots, and he knocks down the first one.
I'll tell you, he shot like he was relaxed. Keith Vassell happy that Jason Scott's stepping up to deliver the goods.
12 points today. Jason Scott over his average. He averages about 10. 2 big free throws and a timeout called by Don Horwood after that. The Brandon bench happy with the free throw shooting of Brandon's own. Jason Scott, 75-70, 5-point lead, 46.5 seconds left.
Now look at the team play here. Jason Scott makes the shot. Is Vassell into this or not? He's trying to add rhythm to the motion of the follow-through.
The Alberta Golden Bears and the Brandon Bobcats giving us a great national championship game here on TSN. Happy to bring it to you. Brendan Connor with Brian Haney. Alberta has never led this game. It's been tied 4 different times. Last time it was tied at 33. 4 minutes left in the first half. Yeah. Let's listen in to Don Horwood and the boys from Alberta.
You sure? We're going to the other side. Then. Okay. Okay? So you go on the other side. Yeah, that's fine. He'll go to the other side. No problem. Now, you know they're going to be running on him, so let's go in. Use him as a decoy right now. We don't need to score immediately on a 3. All right? Then we got to get good solid. Try to stop him on the inbound. Yes. Let's go. Go.
You look for the 3 right here, Brian?
Isn't that basic fundamental coaching? Don Horwood says, you know they're going to be running on him, meaning their sharpshooter, Greg DeVries. So he says, look inside to Murray. Where do you want to be in the last 46 seconds of a key game? Down on the low post, high-quality shot, close to the basket. Don't need the 3 here. Need a quality field goal attempt.
Even when you're down 5?
Even when you're down 5, because they have an opportunity to get possession back. They trust their defense.
All right, we'll see what happens here as Callie Swice brings the Bears up. They do look for Murray Cunningham inside, knocked away by Ewan Roberts on the entry pass.
Thank you.
With D there.
Boy, he wrapped it around Murray Cunningham. You got to get out with your feet and get position on the defensive player. Could have got a foul there by reaching around.
That burned off 9 seconds. There's 36 seconds left. 21 on the shot clock as Greg DeVries comes to the corner, and he is blocked right there by Jason Scott, and the call is traveling. Great defensive play by Jason Scott, doing it at both ends for his Bobcats.
You know, when you lose 2 super players, you got to have the unsung heroes step up. And Jason Scott, he's made the shots. Look at this. He challenges DeVries and gets the violation. Jason Scott waves his fist. He makes the 3, the 1-on-1 on the line, and now the super defensive play.
Another timeout called by Alberta. So Jerry Hemmings and the Bobcats will get another chance to chat about this last 34 seconds. As you take another look, they had DeVries free. He's up to good form, but Jason Scott right with them.
DeVries, the ball was slippery. He went up, he lost the ball. He didn't really have it blocked. He couldn't control the basketball, but it was the incredible pressure that Jason Scott put on him that distracted him that split second. Never really had control of the basketball.
I think he changed his mind in the air, realizing that he would be blocked if he let it go. But regardless, Jason Scott with the excellent defense there. This is the guy that stroked those 2 foul shots a minute ago, hit a big 3 with 2 minutes to go. Greg DeVries would like to go out a champion. They have the national title, but so would this guy like to go out as a national champion. Keith Vassell from the Brandon Bobcats. Vassell and DeVries finishing off great university careers. And there are 34 seconds left in those careers.
Alberta in a position here, they're extending their pressure defense, and defense can turn into a turnover and a quick basket. If any team has the ability to do it, it's the Golden Bears. They're not going to give 1 inch here.
Bobcats ball, 30 seconds to play. Inbounds to Demetrius Floyd. To Wayne Taylor, and he will be fouled right there by Tally Swice. So they give the foul fairly quickly. 30 seconds even now to play. 5-point lead for Brandon as they go back to the line.
Foul, Tally Swice is second. Team foul number 9.
More big foul shots. You know, basketball championships are won on the defensive end of the floor. They're won on the backboards, but most of all down the home stretch, they're won on the free throw line.
Wayne Taylor to shoot 1-on-1.
Wayne Taylor, a good shooter.
He's made some big shots in this tournament to get the Brandon Bobcats here.
Really confident from the line yesterday down the stretch.
great maturity, a great sense of leadership on that court. You know, I saw him give some instructions to Keith Vassell, the super player, first-team All-Canadian early in the game, and he did it with authority. He told Vassell, like, move to your spot. He really was taking command.
Wayne Taylor hits them both, and that might just ice it for Brandon. They're up 7 with under 30 to play. The Bears come back down. They'll look for a 3 here, I presume. No, they're looking inside for Murray Cunningham. They get it inside to Peter Knechtel, who puts it up off the window, and then a quick timeout. The lead is down to 5. 20 seconds to go. 77-72. Knechtel's been a great player for them this game. During this timeout, we will take another timeout as the Bobcats look to hold on for the last 20 seconds. Back to Halifax on TSN in a moment.
Out on the ice, I don't score points for how my hair looks. But after the game, in front of the press, when the cameras are just inches away and millions of fans are watching, my hair has to look great, and great hair can't have flakes. No way. So I get rid of them with Head & Shoulders. It keeps my dandruff in check and my hair looking great. Hey, you can't hide under a helmet all the time.
Head & Shoulders, every day.
With great hair, can't have flakes.
International soccer returns to Edmonton this May when Canada takes on the best in CONCACAF in the fight to reach the Olympic Games. Be there when Canada starts its march to Atlanta. 6 top teams, 15 exciting games, fan-friendly ticket prices. Olympic qualifying soccer, May 10th to 19th in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Call Ticketmaster now and show the world your colors.
We're back here on TSN as the Golden Bears break their huddle. Don Horwood's giving them some instructions. So this last 20 seconds, they're down 5. Brandon has the ball, and the full court pressure will be on. Jerry Hemmings had a chance to diagram how he wants this ball to be put into play.
Turnovers, quick shots, stop the clock. Those are the 3 things that have to be on the mind of the Golden Bears. They've got to create the turnovers, stop the clock, and if they get possession, they got to shoot it quick.
Ewan Roberts will call a timeout as the heat is too much for the Brandon Bobcats. Call a quick timeout, 20-second timeout. Rather than turn it over, they would rather do that, obviously. We go inside the huddle with Coach Jerry Hemmings. Sean Gray has fouled out of this game.
We go back to the 1-4.
As has Keith Vassell.
Jason, you set the screen. Roger, D, you're over here. Rod, you're here, and you're coming back to the ball. D, again. Boom, you ready to go D? Right? Now, remember, if we can get that ball in, we want it in the hands of free throw shooters, okay? Come on now, guys, let's go. Listen, we got 2 timeouts if we need them.
Jerry Hemmings getting the job done in that huddle. Says they got 2 timeouts if they need them. On the other end, the Golden Bears have none. So if they score, they can't really stop the clock.
Bobcats try again to put it into play. Ewan Roberts running the baseline, gets it into Jason Scott, and immediately the Golden Bears give the foul. Jerry Hemmings is hoping that it would be intentional, but it is not. Jason Scott will be in a bonus situation, 1 in the bonus.
Lots of different things that can happen here. If this shot is missed, Alberta gets possession, they make a quick score, they can cut the lead to either 3 or 2 points, and then they'll set up that extended defense. Another interception or turnover, they can tie this basketball game. So nothing goes into the record book just yet.
This guy has been clutch in the late going. Oh, that's the first one. Ice.
I'll tell you, he has made some big plays in the last 6 minutes of this ball game. Jason Scott
hit a big 3, hit a couple of good free throws, made DeVries change his shot, and he hits both these. And a timeout is called this time by Jerry Hemmings and the Brandon Bobcats. They now have a 7-point lead back with 18 seconds to go.
Third timeout.
Brandon's held the lead throughout the game. And they hold the lead now. 7-point lead as we'll take another timeout here on TSN. Back with the finish of this game in a moment.
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. In just minutes today, your thighs can look like
2 big mouth-watering patties in a rich
hypoallergenic base that makes your skin feel like
toupee in a can. Gets rid of bald spots. In fact, it looks just like
fabulous fake fur. Fantastic for my rump roast. Now easier to handle with a roast wrangler.
Life can be heavy. Keep it light. Clear your mind with a clearly great new taste. Check out new 7-Up Light.
McCain changed potatoes into crispy bite-sized taters.
New McCain tasty taters.
Bite-sized taters, crispy and golden brown on the outside. Crispy, so they lock in all that tender potato flavor you love.
You'll love the crispy flavor in our bite-sized taters.
New McCain Tasty Taters in crispy bite-sized tater flavors. Cheese, regular, or Cajun.
Can't beat the flavor in our bite-sized taters.
New McCain Tasty Taters, crispy flavor in a bite-sized tater.
The 1996 CIAU Men's Basketball Championship on TSN. Brought to you by Chevrolet. Tried, tested, and true.
And we're back with 18 seconds to go. 79-72 for Brandon. And Alberta will bring it down the court for one last trip. Greg DeVries takes the handoff. Pumps once, gets it outside. Sails blocked by Demetrius Floyd. And Floyd will try to keep the ball in bounds, but what a great play. He had the big hammer dunk at one end and also showing the defensive skills.
I'll tell you what a tremendous shot block by Demetrius Floyd.
Greg Sale was going for the three with 10 seconds to go, and it was blocked by Floyd. Alberta still has the ball. Now there are 8 seconds left. Brandon leads by 7.
The key for Brandon, just don't stop the clock. Alberta cannot come back.
Greg DeVries will put up a 3. Won't go. Greg Sale will get it back. He'll put up a desperation 3. Doesn't go. And the Brandon Bobcats are the CIAU national champions for 1996. And we'll take a break from the delirium on the floor at the Metro Center. Back for the medal and presentations right after this break.
Natural ability can only take you so far. Equipment counts for a lot. I'm always checking out new ideas. You have to stay competitive. That's what I like about Pert Plus. Cleans and conditions in one step. No messing with 2 bottles. I get great results. No hassle, no fuss. Eventually, we all cross the finish. The winners just find a better way to get there.
Pert Plus, great hair, no fuss.
If you love great food, discover Maple Leaf Prime. It's great chicken every time. Grain-fed and uniquely prepared to meet Maple Leaf's highest standards. It's the best tasting and most tender chicken you can serve. And it's good value, too. That's why more and more families are serving Maple Leaf Prime brand chicken. It's always tender and always good. So it's no surprise that both these chefs insist on Maple Leaf. Maple Leaf Prime. Great chicken every time.
Now it's time for the TSN Turning Point, brought to you by Interstate Batteries.
This will go down as one of the most sensational plays in CIAU tournament history. Demetrius Floyd, 40 on your screen, the wind beneath his wings, and he flew to the dunk shot.
That is our TSN Turning Point, and a cash donation will be made to the Coaching Association of Canada for training and development of coaches in amateur sport on behalf of TSN and Interstate Batteries. We check them before you buy them for fresh power guarantee. Now let's go to the floor, and Rod Smith.
Ladies and gentlemen, Liz Hoffman, the president of the CIAU, and Tom Allen, the president-elect of the CIAU, will now make the presentation of the championship banner and the McGee Trophy to the 1996 champions of men's basketball, the Brandon Bobcats.
Take all the pictures you want. Brandon's #1. Recognize. Brandon Bobcat #1, baby.
Let me touch that. Let me touch that. Get your hand up here.
Woo!
Get in here, man.
And now for the presentation, the player of the game, Jamie Lockington from Saxon Athletic, to Brandon's number 40, Demetrius Floyd. Demetrius, congratulations. First thing I want to ask you about, right after that shot by DeVries, you come right down and tell me about that dunk. That was magnificent.
I just saw the lane, and my teammates needed a bucket, and it was a big basket. I just saw the lane open up, and I just crashed the boards, and luckily they just bounced my way in. That's what happened. So
there is so much talent on this team, even with Keith going out in foul trouble and Sean Gray as well. Can you just tell me about what kind of a team effort it took to win this national championship?
It took a lot of team effort because all year long we worked hard. We worked hard 5 days a week for 8 months, you know, and it showed up on the court. Once Keith went down and then Sean Gray went down, we just had to figure out what we had to do best, and that was work together as a team, and luckily it worked out for us. So I'm just ecstatic it did.
Congratulations, Demetrius. Demetrius Floyd. And now I would ask Terry Coolin from Jossens, Canada, for the presentation of the CIAU Tournament MVP to number 4, Keith Vassell. Keith Vassell, MVP, you've done so much in basketball. This was the one thing that you missed, and I can see the emotion now, so much of them. Just tell me how you feel right now.
We won. That's all I care. That's all I wanted to do. That's all. Oh, God, we won.
Thank you. Congratulations. After 7 years, Bobcat ball rules again. The Brandon University playing an excellent tournament, coming here, the 2nd seed, and winning the national championship. The school's 4th, the final score once again. Brandon 79, Alberta 72. For Brendan Connor and Brian Heaney, I'm Rod Smith saying so long from Halifax.
This is TSN.